Futures back to the upside here so far this morning as we try to bounce once again, coming off what happened on Friday, what happened going into the weekend right across the board. We are still in negative territory here this morning, but heading in the right direction right now. About 1.7% for the NASDAQ currently. It was down well more than that after we head out. If you missed it on Friday, head into the weekend. I mean, it touched 7% after the close on Friday. Lots and lots of things moving around here once again this morning. We'll touch on big tech specifically. Apple trying to get back to the upside, another 2.5% here in the pre-market to start things off this morning. NVIDIA as well, 5% to the downside here so far this morning. Trying to recover, however, with the overall market. We got back to basically where we ended the day on Friday for NVIDIA. Quick right turn there back to the downside. We're trying to bounce right now. Overall, the market trying to bounce here as well right now. Again, as I mentioned, 1.6%. So much to talk about, so much to get into. First and foremost, Sharif is back beside me. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How was your week?
It was really good. It was really good. Good mental health break. I built up a storm in my condo. I built up the gym in the second bedroom, so I was really pumped about that, Brendo.
But you missed nothing, so it's, you know.
There was nothing.
It was fine.
I really tried not to look at the market. I was telling you off camera, I really tried. But on my home screen, on my phone, it shows me the major averages, and those kind of gave it away.
Yeah,
so,
wasn't good.
Let's talk about what's going on here. So Tesla, a downgrade today, very surprising downgrade from one of the biggest Tesla bulls out there. We're talking about Danny Ives of Wedbush, boosting that down. So we'll talk more about that on the rundown. Meta dropping Llama 4, Brendo. That's supposed to be the gold standard in AI for open source AI. iBit, as Bitcoin broke 80,000, and the microchips are under pressure, likewise with Apple. And JPM, Jamie Dimon, dropping
how
his,
you want to address
exactly, dropping his yearly letter, which was obviously updated, you could tell, to reflect the latest effects of the tariffs.
Yeah, I mean, banks crushed going into the weekend as well. I did know, you mentioned Dan Ives there. There was a note that just came out before we came on there about cybersecurity. So not so hot on what he has been talking about for a long, long time. So, I mean, that's CrowdStrike. That's just one of them. But a positive note anyways around the cybersecurity space from Wedbush in general. But man, what a day it was on Friday. We were sitting here going into the last hour of the day, guys, wondering if we were going to hit that 7% mark before the close. We get a late relief rally, but we do eventually get there after all was said and done.
Yeah, it was.
You could add them together. It was five on Friday, 2 today. Maybe we halt right off the open. Do they add them together? Is that how it works?
Unfortunately, well, in Asia, the topics halted.
Yeah, I saw they were down over
overnight.
6%.
Yeah, they got smoked. But some of the numbers overnight, the lows that got hit. Tesla tagged 209 at Blue Ocean. The VIX hit 60 or close to 60, which is wild. It's starting to pull back a little bit. So obviously, volatility ain't going anywhere, everybody. It's a wild and crazy one. But hey, man, it just provides you with more opportunities to trade. And look, Tesla, if you thought it was going to be down at 220 at some point again, didn't know if it was going to be Monday morning. That was that place we bounced before. That'll be in play. But crypto. Bitcoin couldn't hold on to that 81K. Lost it. And well, now at least we can say we tested
got
that
to
bottom.
Didn't we?
Yeah, like that 74, the prior high on the daily. We finally at least tested that level on Bitcoin. At some point, you know, with this kind of a drop, everything had to participate a little bit. And the Bitcoin was holding up well, but not so much anymore after it broke that 81K. So, yeah, there's lots of shelves that got broken. We'll talk about Walmart, which lost a shelf on Friday. That's on play for me here today. But you know, it's crazy. Like the percentages that you see these things up, down, in, and around are absolutely wild. We're 2% down, and I'm like, oh man, it's only 2% down.
Right.
Like, that's my attitude right now on the NASDAQ. Only 2% down.
Yeah, we just had that nice little bump there, and then it stopped all of a sudden. So we're going to have to wait to see what's going on there. But that's a nice little move up from 17,000. So, yeah, the NASDAQ being down today, we even were looking at, I was thinking, okay, like where to hide. We've talked to a couple traders before all last week, looking at some gold, silver as well, SLV. You know, you did see XLE and USO. I mean, some of these names, at least silver is up right now 1%. Actually, I didn't realize silver was up, so that's good. Maybe that's a play. So silver. And then energy, obviously, that's still down another 2%. I mean, pretty pretty dramatic loss right there in the last couple of days for USO and the energy space. So yeah, not a good opportunity. And speaking of the devil right here, maybe we can buy some more XOM because Randy, some of these nothing is safe right now, and this is a good opportunity. Wow, XOM is at 101. I did not even realize that right there. That's a huge move down. Wow. Okay. So if you're underweight, maybe some of these oil plays, energy could be a spot right here. Geez, how low did we get? 97? What the?
That's kind of, ow.
Ouch on that one. How was the weekend, Randy?
Short.
Yeah, it always is, isn't it?
They're predicting oil to be below $60 for the next 6 months. So that's, the oil's future contracts are not looking rosy.
Tough pill to swallow.
Okay.
Yeah, but here we are.
Yeah, they're predicting oil to, sorry, I missed that. It's under 60?
Under 60 for the next 6 months.
For the next 6 months.
They're right now.
Yeah, I mean, global demand, if that keeps on a problem, then it's...
Well, and the good news is that it doesn't exactly hurt the battle for against inflation. So like there is like that little bit of a silver lining with low oil prices, but it's not good for Chevron. It's not good for XOM. It's not good for XLE.
Good for coffee.
Why?
Good for
Are you
coffee,
still bidding your Rivian? You might get your Rivian today. Yeah, looking for that bottom.
What's that? What's the level? 10?
Aren't we all?
Even?
Yeah, 1070 right now is Rivian at right now. I saw some people were buying some Lucid up recently. LCID.
Yeah,
why
but that's because that won't break $2.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, why am I hearing more about Lucid right now? Okay, yeah. So Lucid's down here, down 4% today. This could be, yeah, right at this $2 mark. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was $3.50 not too long ago, right? Mid-February, $3.50, $3.60, down to $2. So this is another play there that if it can get going, yeah, Lucid down 4 points could be another one. Look, everything is down, man. I don't know. We looked at Tesla, Sharif or... no, what was it, Sharif? It was Joe. Well, they were all talking about the same stuff here. But anyways, Tesla down another 5% right there, right back to, and it was you actually, yeah, back to your 220 level there again. So yeah, there it goes back down in again to 226 goes Tesla. Good couple outs. I know that you were at the 280, 275 level there. So yeah, right back in on this level. Yeah, and then Sharif was talking, we were talking about some of the banks there today as well. JP Morgan down to 204. Wells Fargo getting hit lately as well. You know, I think the lowest PE on the street right now with all the banks, Wells Fargo, down here down to $60 again. And I also want to look at Berkshire. I mean, this name just keeps on, now it's down, but the fact that this is almost near the 200 now, that was a big move down in. So, you know, there it is. Yeah, so you're right at the 200 period for Berkshire. So I was just thinking about like going shopping a little bit if we talked about buying some stuff. I mean, I hope we'll have Michael on soon today, but you know, talk about things that are potentially stronger than the rest. We know there's a relatively large cash position, at least as of the last filing there for Berkshire. So if cash is king right now and you believe in, you know, portfolio management and things like that, Berkshire down another 4% here today could be a buying opportunity in this name. So I don't know, man. It's tough to recommend buys, you know, but at the same time, we wait for that big volume indicator to come in and maybe we can pick a bottom at some point, but wow. Yeah, pretty interesting day to say the least.
Actually, before we go back to the desk, I was telling you this, and I have a question for everyone out there. So I took my daughter, well, we all went, my family went to the Minecraft movie, which Sean suggested was fantastic. And it's a great movie. But I'm just curious, is this whole like teenagers yelling and screaming like it's a Rocky Horror Picture Show throughout the entire film a normal thing? Because I'll tell you right now, like it didn't bother me per se because, you know, I'm not hanging on it like it's the Shawshank Redemption or anything like that. But there was a 10-year-old kid in the theater, 10 or 11-year-old kid, actually yelled out for everyone to shut up. And my daughter, after the end of the movie, like she's, really, did you enjoy the movie? She's like, yeah, it was so fun, so amazing. But I really wish they would have been more quiet so I could hear the movie. And she said that sad. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
like, it's like
you were
kids
mentioning it was
movie.
a TikTok thing.
So I've heard it's a TikTok thing.
Yeah, we didn't experience any of that. But.
Just disappointed, man. As Joey Swoll would say, do better or be better. No, you don't know.
No,
he's like a gym etiquette guy. And he always is like, be better, mind your own business. That's what he says. But in this particular case, just let people enjoy the film. It was really funny. I really enjoyed the movie.
TikTok is ruining everything.
apparently. And no deal got done. See, that was my whole. I was just like,
China said no to that on Friday. What didn't they?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was our best chance, I think, at not being down today would have been if something had reversed there. But anyways, here we are. Only it was 1.9 NASDAQ down.
You know, you got to rub that banana peel all
Now
over your face. That's the what's that TikTok trend?
Now. What?
There's that guy that has that morning routine.
What's it?
Ashton. He rubs bananas all over his face, and
What's the point?
Saratoga water. You put your face into the water there, in the ice water. The guy has a billion streams.
Well, ice water, I can understand.
Billion
wake
views.
you up a little bit, I guess.
He has a crazy morning routine. You never heard of this guy?
Hell no. Hell no.
I'm starting
Rubbing
to
a
follow.
banana on my face.
I'm starting to follow it. I ain't following shit. I need to get more.
I know you ain't following that.
But yeah. Oh, Adam. Maybe Adam. Some people know about this.
Okay.
Look it up. It's this guy that looks like he's like Zeus or something. He's this muscular,
Okay,
huge
what's
guy.
again? What's the name?
I should just look up Saratoga water. I don't.
Saratoga water.
Saratoga water. There, Saratoga water guy. Here it is, right here. I'm not clicking on TikTok, but it's this guy here. This guy here. I don't know. Yeah, he has. See, so he has this crazy routine where he puts his face in this water. This is just an ad. I don't know, but he has these TikTok vids. See what I'm saying? So here we go. We're allowed to show TikTok stuff. So there it is. So he just has, and then I don't even know what we're getting involved with, but this is the stuff he does. He has this morning routine that he does, 4:01 a.m. He does about, is this Sharif or is this guy here? Sharif. Okay, 4:20 here. And anyways, meditating, writing notes. You have to watch it. I don't know anything about it other than this is what it is. So anyways, all right, Saratoga water guy. He took some. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
We sure own.
We might not be able to trade, but at least we can teach you guys, more Neil, about Saratoga water, I guess. Apparently they're taking off. I've never even said that before in my life. Now I've said Saratoga about 10 times. Ashton, yeah. All right, let's go back over the desk. These are very similar morning routines to both Brendan and Sharif, so they're very, very comfortable with this stuff.
I don't even know how to follow that.
He doesn't drink the water, Brendo. He just puts his face in it.
Unreal. You and I were just talking about the simple fact that the speed at which we went from all-time highs in the market to 10%, and then the speed at which, what was that, Sean? You know what?
I believe Brendan follows something like that.
No. That's not true.
But then the speed that we went from 10% to 20% is almost double. It was 7 days. We went essentially from 10% down in the market from all-time highs to now, where we are sitting right now in the NASDAQ, we're at 23% for the Qs. So that was quick.
And he's kind of, I'm talking about Donald Trump, is losing the support of the business community faster than what I predicted and what I think a lot of people predicted. We saw the start of the presidency with the tech bros lined up to hit back of his right. He had everybody there from the Mag 7, most CEOs there, and a lot of them now, not specifically the Mag 7 CEOs, but a lot of these business leaders are taking to X and basically saying that this strategy is not going to work. It's destructive, and basically questioning the formula that he used to structure these tariffs. A lot of allegations being made about, ChatGPT and some other, inputs being used because they were duplicated by some other individuals, Brendo. So we'll have to watch and see, but right now it's an aggressive move.
A lot of question marks. Remain, and questions need to be answered, I think. Meta, guys, just popping up here in front of me. 492 got broken, went right through to 492.50. Volatility's here, so these things are going to trade much, much different. They unveiled Llama 4 Scout and Maverick. Not that that's going to make any kind of difference at this point, but they also announced a plan for $1 billion in AI-focused data center in Wisconsin. So they delayed this. If you remember, I think going back to the beginning of last week, we were talking about this really quick. They delayed the launch of this, I think, just because of market conditions at the time. So we finally get these two new versions from Meta.
Which is going to be interesting because technically they're not fully open source. If you use more than a certain amount of parameters, you get blocked, Brendo. I'm not exactly sure, but the science 500,000, 5 million parameters, something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not fully open source like DeepSeek is. So obviously he's done that for certain constraints because he doesn't want people leeching off his systems and whatever else. We'll have to wait and see how that all does. But it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be good for reasoning as well. It's going to be available in WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram Direct, and as well on Meta's AI website.
I think it just gets to a point where there's so many options that, you know, people have so many options when it comes to AI models that, you know, these launches and announcements really of a new model are just not going to have the significance that they once did. Just FYI, we'll touch base with Michael Noss after the close tonight. He did have an appointment this morning, so will not be joining us. But thoughts here, guys? We're under 500 once again for Meta.
I mean, cleanly under 500. Like, we're way under $500 on Meta. You know, we keep saying you got to look at weekly charts. Maybe like when you see something like this, you got to zoom it back out here. On a weekly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight red from the high. Now, it's easy to say, I mean, a lot of stocks are going to end up in like oversold. You'll probably hear a lot of that recently. Let's be real, you're going to get a ton of it. There's probably going to be some solid bounces. Like I expect, like after the fall from the highs, like you did find a little bit of support in front of the 50 period on the weekly. We had a couple of weeks where it bounced above it. Still red weeks. And I think that's kind of where we're headed here, at least for Meta. Like like I said before, like it's one of the stocks that I'm DCAing this year. So either it gets down to 420 to 440 where I wait another quarter to make a call on this one for myself. Like it could get filled down there. Certainly it could go 10. If it goes another 10%, I'm getting filled. No question about it. But when you start thinking about these on a daily basis, one thing that stood out to me, and AMD had this as well, but I can make the same observation for Meta. Just look at the day on Friday. As crazy as all the volatility is all over the place and it's doom and gloom, if you just look at the actual stock, once it set a morning range, I mean, at least to the resistance level, it just respected it for the rest of the day. Like you could actually on Meta short back into these pops pretty much all day long into 516, 515, 516, and it worked all day long, scalping it. Now, it's not Meta that was the one that made me realize this. It was really more when I was looking at AMD, something that trended down, and how cleanly it ended up holding. There's your opening range, there's the 10 o'clock, there's 88, and then for the rest of the day, you just sell into 88. So I think sometimes we get caught up in, oh, it's so incredibly volatile, there's not going to be any levels to work off of. That might be true. At the open, you might have to give it some room. But sometimes after that half an hour, see what level gets respected, and maybe you can trade off it all day. Because when I noticed that about Meta, I'm like, well, I mean, AMD really, really gave it to you. So lo and behold, I know we were talking about Meta, it had a similar pattern, but if AMD gets to 88, I mean, come on. Like, that's a no-brainer. I think you look at things like Meta in the same vein. Long term, look, like I said, I'm a believer in Meta. I think they're a good value. Ultimately, I think one of the good things about the companies that have a lot of cash is as this turmoil, unfolds, let's just say, they're still going to be performing well in the next couple of years. Like who do you feel the most confident about if we go into a recession? It's the kind of things that you're asking yourself here, and I feel pretty good about Meta.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some names that have been hit pretty decently here today. I don't know if you're going to look at tech stocks or not. So I was just like, the Nasdaq's getting significantly worse right now. Like we were just at down 1.8%. Now you're down 2.8%. Now you're okay. I mean, as soon as we say that, now it's starting to rally back again. You're still above VWAP here this morning, so that's going to be interesting for me when we talk about the market. There it is. So there we go. Like very, very sensitive to anything right now. Like these moves are not small moves. You know, like on Friday, we were watching the futures, and it was just like so much violence back and forth pretty much all afternoon. Is it going to rally? Is it not? Are we down 6? Now we're down 4. Now we're down 5 again. So, I mean, 1% here, 1% there is used to be a big move, and now it's nothing. So with the TQs already down 7%, like these moves are not, like we just went to 39 from 37.20. So, you know, big moves today, definitely, as we wait for more response on all these tariffs. The one thing, we were just talking about Minecraft there. I don't know, we're traveling around all weekend. We got a couple of coffees there at McDonald's. It was packed. Like, I don't know. I saw a lot of people buying these Minecraft meals. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but this is another name that's at 290 right now, right at the 200 period moving average. McDonald's was just at all-time highs. So the fact that you're pulling back down in this name, I think you want to look for names that were strong kind of before last week. McDonald's made basically all the way back to all-time highs before the last 2 days. So this is like in 2 days. Darryl was talking about Lulu from 235 to 270. Like, there is going to be pockets of strength that you can find in the market. And I just wonder if, you know, McDonald's, we had Walmart had a huge move back only to be, wow, down to $80 again. I mean, some of these, like, I was like, oh, wow, did we miss that Walmart? And then it goes back all the way to $90, down to 80 again. Like, we touched $77, $78 there near the lows. So I don't know if it's time to put in, like, you know, bids to catch some of these bottoms. But for right now, there's going to be a lot of pockets of strength. And I'm not sure it's right there with tech. So, you know, that's why we talk about McDonald's, some Walmart there. Spread your wings today a little bit. But I don't have any bids right now. I mean, if something hits, hopefully we'll be able to trade it live, and then maybe we'll look at it during lunchtime. But for right now, yeah, pretty exciting. So that's good. So we'll get Michael after hours. So that should be interesting to hear what he has to say after a day of trade like today. Some people calling Black Monday was down 22%. Hopefully that doesn't happen, hopefully we'll be okay for a down at 20% day. But I don't want to count out anything. I don't think that's going to happen. But you know, if there's no more bids, there's no more bids. What are you going to do? We'll see what happens. A 5% day could happen again. But
yeah, that could happen.
All right, upgrades and downgrades. Are we ready for that?
I think so.
All right.
There was 2 upgrades to start off this list. Texas Instruments and Williams-Sonoma both getting the nod. Reddit getting upgraded here by Truist with a $150 price target, and Coherent Biosciences here with an upgrade from Northland Capital. On the downgrade side of things, Robert W. Baird coming back in here, downgrading Target with a $110 price target. These last 3 are all going to be from Morgan Stanley. Lazard, the first one here, but Morgan Stanley also downgraded some of its fellow financial institutions. Jefferies, Evercore, and not pictured here, but Morgan Stanley downgraded Goldman Sachs as well, guys.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those, when you're in a market like this.
It's funny, because CoreWeave went fine. I'm surprised that's Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs.
Not a lot of people that I think, look, a lot of times when you don't have a lot of shares come to market, and there's a lot of insiders, I guess there's just not a lot of sellers out there for that stock right now. I feel like ARM went through the same thing. You look at something like Reddit, it's always going to be trickier for, you know, like the newer names where you don't have the long-established track records, where you can say, okay, fine, if it's about to be ugly in the short term, when you project out like 2, 3, 4 years, like where are you going to find some bounce? I like Reddit. I think a lot of times it's easy enough to say, hey, let's just go back and look at where the buyers were before and support. But at least for this week, let's just say for this week, we always talk about that IPO high being a good, like when it breaks away from the IPO high, like usually it's really, really good. That's exactly what happened in Reddit. And Reddit's right back at that level at 75. Now, ultimately, you've already kind of half-tested it down here, but I think that provides you with at least something for like a mean reversion trade on Reddit. Like if we get down to that 75 level, you know, just where it broke away from before, that IPO prior high, it looks like a good spot. And that's sort of what, in this kind of volatility, you're just looking for levels that you'll run away from, where you can take one trade off of that level. And Reddit's at least got something coming up. I don't want to say today, because it would have to go down, you know, it's at 83, so that's like 10% from here for it to get to that level.
Reddit's at 83?
It's not impossible that it gets there, but that 75 level looks good for prior resistance to little bounce zone on Reddit. Not saying that's where you, I mean, if you like it forever, then you can buy any level, but yeah, it looks good on the chart.
How about some of these names here today? How about some of these
new firm?
How about a firm? No, I haven't seen that. How about SMR, right back round trip all the way to where I bought it? SMR now all the way back down to $11 again right here. Like, this was $32 down to $11 again. Let me see what Rigetti's at now as well here. Oops. I'm going to use eSignal chart so I don't have to worry about all this stuff. Okay, so RGTI here today. Rigetti down, all right, down to 7. Actually, that's not too bad. Bottom there of 640. So some of these names continue to be. What is QBTS doing here today? I mean, are there any, you guys will tell us. I mean, we have our sticky note, or we have our watch list out that has many different names on there. But, you know, so quantum names actually not hit too badly here. Google well under, I mean, I was thinking about quantum, I go to Google. Google was well under 150, but I mean, look at this battle back here. Okay, there's a nice little bump up to 145 right now. So you're starting to get some love here in the market. Oops, too many A's. Apple right there as well, 183 down to the downside there for Apple. So some of these stocks trying to make a comeback, but wow, don't call it a comeback right now on Google. That's a nice move. That's 141 in... That's from 8:20, so in a half hour, you're up $4 there. That's pretty nice, almost in a straight line there for Google. This is a 5-minute chart, so there it goes, man. Extending upside right now in Google, so we definitely like that play. Are we getting some similar moves here? What's NVIDIA doing right now? We can have a look, 90, okay, so we saw an overnight. I saw an overnight bottom of around $88, but this name trying to go up as well here on the 1-minute chart, still down 4%, so I don't know. I'd hate to say that we've hit bottoms here in the pre-market. I'd like to see what happens once this market opens up. And then just because we still have a couple minutes here, this is what's happening this morning. We've already indicated all of this. This is what was happening on Friday, on Thursday. Everything is a sell. There are no bids right now in the imbalance. So everything right now is a sell. FSCO, you know, obviously that name. Alibaba down there at 108 right now. Like, this was 140 last week. So yeah, there is a big, we are just going to ultimately win everything, right, Fabian? That we cannot stop the winning exactly. There it is.
We can't take it anymore. Mr. President,
we're winning too much. Too
and
much
I'll
winning.
say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning.
Well, you know, he was out there on Meta or on X or on The Truth, whatever, saying that, you know, they got one win with the jobs number. So, yeah.
Oh, God.
CrowdStrike actually did pop up here again, trying to get back to highs. Remember, there's a Wedbush note on cybersecurity in general so far today. We're going to touch on China coming up here, but why don't we have a look at the overall market here to start things off?
1 second.
In a second.
Brendo. Don't know where my chart went.
That's okay.
Let's have a look over here. We're going to do it on this side. All right, guys, we're above 5,000 right now on the ES June contract. We were below it, well below it to start the morning off. We dipped down to about 49.50. So we'll try to use that 50-point area as an area of support, especially if we lose 5,000. To the high side, the overnight high is 50.40. So we'll say 50.50 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video and hit the very first link. Top link will take you to the sign-up page for the watch list. All you need is your email address, and then you can have the watch list delivered right to your inbox every single morning. I was trying to find that note on MicroStrategy. We'll talk about crypto here, down big time this morning. MicroStrategy, I think it was $5.8 billion. Total digital asset losses for Q1, $5.8 billion for MSTR. They picked up another, I think it was 80,000 or something in the past couple of weeks here for, Strategy, not, that's CrowdStrike still. We'll go over to MicroStrategy, but I mean, crypto down huge here today.
Yeah, and we're down below now 80,000 on Bitcoin, which was an important level. So Bitcoin fell 4%, down to about 76,221. Its first sustained break below that $80,000 level in months, down nearly now 30% from the January all-time high and 15% already year to date. Trump's new blanket get import tariffs and customs duties triggered, Brenda, listen to this. $7.46 trillion wipeout on the equity markets, with specifically $5.87 trillion in market cap from the U.S. markets and $1.59 globally. Obviously, that's including Bitcoin and some others. Some cryptocurrencies already, we saw long liquidations last week. BTC saw about 250 million, a little bit less for ETH, about 217 million, with Solana down 8%, ETH also down about 6%, so big moves down there. And we'll keep an eye out for some of these, Bitcoin often trades like a tech proxy, and it was briefly last week seen as a safe haven, but now rejoins the risk-off trade.
You and I were talking about the yields and long-dated yields specifically. I was just seeing the 10-year back above 4 here this morning.
It is,
so I think there's this very fine line between will this cause inflation and where they actually want these markets to go in the near and long term. So yeah, 4.06 right now for the 10-year. So we were down to 3.9, 3.8, I believe, going into the weekend on that. It was actually 5.4 MicroStrategy. It was 5.91 billion unrealized losses in Q1, guys, for digital assets for Strategy.
Yikes. I mean, you knew this could happen for Strategy. I'm actually a little bit surprised at how well it's holding up, just to be real. I mean, I know it's not very good. It's down double digits right now, as you can see, or almost double digits, 0.97%, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But looking specifically at Bitcoin. So obviously, I mean, it's easy enough to say, okay, the 81 shelf is gone. If it gets back into like 80, 81, prior support turns into resistance. We're a little far away from that on IBIT. Like I have, the first level I'm looking at is 44.5 on IBIT, which will be out in front of that 78 level. I think that's a good over-under. I think if we break away from here, then I'm going to be looking to short if we get up to 80 to 81. So that'd be the second level on IBIT. But I also, just on the off chance that we completely flush, I'm a buyer at 42.25. That'll be down around that 74 level. And in individual names, I just prefer Mara to trade. Overall, what's interesting is about Mara, it didn't break. Even with the gap down, Mara didn't really fail under Friday's bottom. So Bitcoin loses a major level, and Mara doesn't. That makes it a very, very interesting name, at least for myself today, just because it was already trend down. It hasn't really caught up. I just feel like if we immediately lose the bid, well, then Mara's got some catching up to do. And as long as Bitcoin isn't still, I mean, the market right now is trying to bounce, but as long as we're not bouncing, I think this one has a chance to play some catch up. I'll be looking at Bitcoin first, but if we just start falling all over ourselves, I think Mara, in a weird way, ultimately where it is technically, it's almost like it should be a bit lower.
All right, so I was just looking at IBIT. I mean, we talked a little bit about crypto there, 77, 76,000, 74.5 as the bottom. But if you're just looking at IBIT, which I think is going to be probably the one that most traders will look at just from volume-wise here, I'm waiting for like a flush down in this market, and then we can start to rip. And I think that is, I don't want to say likely because, with the market where it is right now, I'm not sure what is likely or not, but like that's a big gap island back in, right into, again, like levels that I think can get supported. Like that's 42, 40, 42.50. It's just like, has there been enough damage done now that a reweighting of, and it's just, this is the election bump right there. So you're all the way back into these levels. Now, since then, we've sort of put in the crypto reserve, right? We've seen MicroStrategy continuously buying, less coins every day being produced or mined here on IBIT. We talked about the halving. If you believe in this, I'd hate to say to dip buy, but I think that if you haven't bought anything on the way down, you're now into a level that many of us has talked about where there's hopefully some support. And I hate using that word hope, but that's what you have to do. And I think that if you're going to be trading like us, then you can always get out immediately. So I'm thinking like into this 43 where these, I don't know. I mean, I don't hold too much weight to some of these dark pools, but we did stop here at 42, 43. So I think giving us some outs down here might be something. So yeah, I would definitely be looking long down here at 43 for crypto. So and I'm just doing that based on sort of the daily chart that we had seen before that we have held in this area in the past. So if we're going to think that there's something here, maybe down 8%, we do get an early buy. I don't think we want to push the keys immediately. But if you are very, very if you're bullish today and you think that when there's blood in the streets, traders will come in and buy, then I think this is a great opportunity here as well. Going long on this pre-market of 44.15, that's the high of the pre-market, then you just use VWAP as your out. So it's like 70 cents worth of risk to get a lot back there. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not super excited to buy anything right off open, but I think as far as the dip is concerned, I mean, IBIT actually has levels. So instead of dip buying on NVIDIA or Palantir or anything like that, you know, you do have that 41 to 43 level that should get supported. So unless you're taking thousands and thousands of shares, I think IBIT's a pretty safe long if we can get anywhere near 43. So that's what I'll be looking at down there. Now let's go talk about Tesla. Does Tesla still have IBIT on their balance sheet? I'm not even sure.
That's a good one. There we go. Yeah, let's talk about Tesla down better part of 6% here this morning, downgraded. I mean, it's just been, zoom out a little bit, it's been an absolute disgusting couple of weeks. 225 trying to hold here so far this morning. Navarro out there talking about Elon this morning. He actually just called him an auto assembler that makes cars with parts from other countries. So.
He's firing back, Brendo, because Elon didn't hold back on the weekend against Navarro. So let's talk about what Danny Ives said about Wedbush. He cut his 12-month price target on Tesla from 550 down to 315, but that still implies about a 32% upside from Friday's close. Ives has been one of Tesla's most vocal bulls, making this a notable downgrade in sentiment. There's a bit of a brand crisis, he goes on to say. Ives described Tesla's brand issues as a full-blown F5 tornado, stemming from Elon Musk's controversial political profile. He believes Tesla's lost or destroyed, Brendo, about 10% of its future customer base globally, or even more. Tesla has effectively become what he calls a political symbol. There's obviously new Trump administration tariffs creating cost and demand issues for Tesla despite its economic production focus. And Tesla does source quite a bit of products from both Mexico and China, and that China 54% tariff definitely not going to help input costs.
Coming from this guy, this is, as you said, a notable downgrade. Worth noting as well, I mean, this is EV related anyways. Everything China related, we'll get to that in a second, but everything China related getting crushed. XPeng down here this morning, this is a daily chart. It's down 11%.
NIO's at $3.23.
Is it? Oh my God, we're just looking at Alibaba at 108.
Bob was getting smoked. Well, when it comes to Tesla, so look, we bounced off of this area last time. Well, actually the last couple of times, and we're talking like 220. I actually wrote down like the target area. And again, just looking for like a mean reversion bounce type play. Like I said, if Reddit got to 75, I'd look for something like that. Between 218 and 222, so like that $4 range in here encompasses 220. Pretty simple. So I think that's the spot. Like if we're going to have some kind of a bounce, I think either you hold right here or you're bouncing off that area on the daily. Now, if you get underneath there, there's still like the October low, which is at 212. You're talking about being 10% down if you get to those levels. So if you get down to 218, at that particular point, like you're not going to be 10% down. But if you get to the 212, that's going to be an SSR level as well. Now, if we do bounce, like the fade, I'm always looking at prior day support, especially given that we actually line up with pre-market highs and Friday lows are lining up pretty well. Adjacent to 235, it's more like 236, but I think that's the wait until there to fade some kind of a resistance level. So that's my plan for Tesla. I'm not really looking at, I didn't look at Rivian, and then you mentioned that it was down at that $10 level, and looking at the things that have worked, like these trend reversal type plays, like look at the one Rivian had on Friday. That was insane. That crazy wick bottom and then closing back up at the highs. I think when we get to the downside, it's like whatever stock is setting up the best for that type of reversion where you just get a big risk to reward. That's the market we're in. So Rivian's at 1060, which does mean that $10 level on Rivian is in play. And the lows under here are like 950. So it's another name I would look to. I feel as if Tesla's probably going to test that 220, 218 to 222 level, so 220. I think that's going to happen first. But I don't trade that, and I see Rivian breaking $10. I'll look for a mean revert on that as well.
Tesla, yeah. So I'm writing down this. It's almost out. I'm just writing down a short on Tesla because I do believe in what the boys were talking about up there. Too much damage done to the brand, honestly. Like Dan Ives was loving this stock up at 400, not liking it now. It's been crushed. I mean, I just hope that some of us, I was not able to, but able to get out. Hopefully, got out of everything. But there's that 200 period. It nailed it right there on the daily, bounced around 280, and now it's just looking bad. And nothing wrong with the product, right? I mean, I think that they continuously, I don't really hear, people might not like the Cybertruck or anything like that, but Model Y, Model 3, X, all that, everything they're talking about, all the products that Tesla seems to, people are happy with it. It's just right now, I don't believe in that brand anymore until something happens, gets corrected out. I don't know, but I wrote down basically shorting anything if this market pops, which I expect it to pop actually a little bit. I don't know if it continues throughout the whole day, but if we ever get anywhere near the close on Friday for Tesla, that would be a 6% move higher. I think you just fade in that area right there. I mean, this 237, 238. So I think you could start at around 235 and go upside. So that's what I'm writing down. But at the end of the day, I don't like the story behind Tesla right now. And it's so much easier to get behind, like NVIDIA doesn't really have that brand or anything damage. I mean, we got to fix this wick. But if the NASDAQ's going to rally, I'd rather be on the back of NVIDIA or get on the back of Apple, or we've seen Google go as well. So as far as the Mag 7 and all that, I just think Tesla right now has its work cut out for it. Obviously, those deliveries were not great, but it bounced off those delivery numbers. So I think right now it's not really trading on fundamentals. It's more just trading on image. And right now, Tesla's image is not the greatest. So we'll continue to hold and look for shorts on that. But I'm only going to go short if it breaks the top. This is not something that I want to get part of this party because it could bounce, but I think it doesn't bounce until 212, 215. So that's a nice move to the downside. Like it's going to be a panic open. So we have, in my opinion, have to wait to see what happens, whoopsies, with TSM, yeah. But what happens with the NASDAQ here off open? Banks getting hit, Walmart could go sub 80. We talked about Alibaba, 107, like Uber, 60, geez, man, sorry about that. Down $62 right now. Like some of these names are just at levels that you didn't think were gonna be here already. And like Uber's another one of those names that whap right down there into the downside. So there's going to be some, like this might even be a good name to look at. Yeah, good level for, we just found this randomly here. But what about 60 for Uber? Anyways, I know we're talking about Tesla, but there's just, if you go shopping, like when you said Reddit $80, I was like, what? Like, I didn't even think it was down that low. But that was $280 or something, wasn't it?
That Uber 60 is going to be really good.
Yeah, that Uber at 60 is a good level here. I've written some other things down. JP Morgan at 200. What's next? Meta? Okay, well, we have banks still to talk about. So let's go over, talk a little bit about Meta. That's another name that if you look at the chart, you might not guess the price of Meta before these guys talk about it. And I guarantee you're going to be wrong. It's lower than what you think.
I won't spill the beans, but yeah, no, it's pretty ugly in a hurry. That's a daily chart. We're down here, 491 this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4 days it took basically to go from 600 to 491, $110 straight to the downside here. I mean, there's nothing significant, as we were saying, if you're joined us in the first 30 minutes here. Meta finally unveiling their brand new Llama 4 versions, 2 separate ones. They delayed this going back to the beginning of last week.
Did, yeah.
I mean, is it significant enough at this point? Let's see. I doubt it.
Zuck was pumped. He took to Instagram to announce the launch of Llama 4. So there's a couple here, Brendo. As you mentioned, Scout and Maverick, that's going to be part of the push to dominate the open source generative AI model. But that's not the only one that's going to be released. Actually, there is now the Behemoth model, guys, on the screen. The training has not yet been released, though. It's described as outperforming its rivals in class. If we can show the screen, Meta plans to use Llama 4
Ramin?
Meta plans to use Llama 4 to advanced AI agents capable of reasoning, web browsing, and executing real-world tasks. These agents are aimed at both the consumer and the business applications. And Zuck's push for the open source strategy, that he basically feels that the open source AI is going to lead the market, and Llama 4 is going to be proof of that. Meta's goal is to make the top-tier AI universally accessible. And here are some dates that you should be aware of. It will host its first LlamaCon, Brendo, AI conference on April 29th, and a standalone Meta AI chatbot is expected to launch in Q2 of this year.
Not much of a bounce, if any at all, right now, guys, for Meta. What do we do here?
No, it's not looking good for Meta. Like there's two Mag 7 names I like. Well, we already talked about Tesla, and we always talk about Nvidia. I'd probably look at personally like Amazon to trade more than Meta. But what I was getting at before is, I think if you get a bounce, one of the things that we noticed on the stock is quite simply the resistance that was clean at 515 to 516 all afternoon. I'm not saying it gets up there, it's automatic again. But if the prior low turns into that, or maybe this pre-market level at 497 into 500 turns into that at the opening range, I think you just start playing that kind of a game with Meta. What's crazy now, I was just looking at the weekly chart. Still have it up? Yeah. When you look at that weekly chart, like there has not even been a positive week. But the last time it had this many weeks down in a row was the absolute bottom going back to 2022. Like that's the last time Meta was this trendy to the downside and had that many consecutive red weeks. And so I think there's a bottom coming in a stock like this, but I'm not sure it's not until somewhere in the mid 400s. But that's just me. That's where I'm looking to pick up the first buy since this quarter anyways. Anyway, I'm not going to look at this one for the day trade. I think there's two names in retail that I'm looking at. One of them is Amazon. And one of the reasons why, and we've been over this before, like it did the old flat bottom break. It then bounced. You try to hold underneath like a prior big support level. That's like 170 that sits there on Amazon. So you have support to close, and then you have the highs at 178. That gives you some really clean levels to work off of, and it's not a $500 stock. But in the retail space, something broke on Friday that we got away from on the short that I just feel better about. And so Walmart just broke the shelf. Whoops, wrong direction. It just broke the 200 period moving average. It just broke the support at 84. It's like day one underneath that price. I'm flat out shorting pops in Walmart today. You know, whether it's pre-market high, that 82.5, whether it's a prior close 83, whether it's up to that flat bottom at 84, those are all levels that I want to be short because it is day one of it underneath that 200 period moving average. So I know I want to short it. And I'd rather, in the Mag 7 names, I'd rather be, you're going to get bigger moves in chips and in retail, and in Amazon retail, I think. I'll probably stay away from Llama outside of being a buyer long-term in the mid-40s, 400s.
Yeah, I think Meta, we've talked about some of the names that we believe are going to be safe from sort of all these tariffs. I mean, it's just one of those things where Meta right now just doesn't sell too many consumer products. And, you know, other than we wait for the Oculus, we wait for those glasses, which we got that report on the glasses. I think it was way too expensive, between $1,000 and $1,200 for their new pair. So I think that you do not catch a falling knife in this example here. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, at some point you're going to be looking to pick something up. And if we ever get dip buys, like we talked about putting out some stink bids. Now, I don't know if that comes through today or what, but like this 440 right down into here, 430, 440 to me, I put my hands up in the air and say, let's go long on Meta if we can get into that level. That's 10% down from here. So I don't necessarily think that that's going to be something. You know, one name that's at a very, very key level, we're now below where Warren was selling this name, 183 now. Apple just boom to the downside again, down another 3%. This market's getting worse here as we get closer to the open. We still wait to see about VWAP holding. That's what I put down about the TQs. If we don't hold this VWAP, then we're going to go short through this market, and then we wait to see where that capitulated level is going to be. But at some point, man, Apple's going to have to make a move one way or the other. Watch out for 180 down here. Like, I don't have any pending orders right now. I do not want to get run over, but I do think it's important that you get your shopping list out. So just because we're talking about all this, I'm going to go over to one more name that I thought was a little strong in the open, and that's now come back in. But we saw Google try to bounce. So only being down 2%. We're going to talk about banks next and then China. But just for big tech, Google right now only being down 2%. I know that's kind of, whatever. Intel under 20 bucks as well. So some of these names have gotten to good bottoms now where it's like we've already been here and it showed that it has the ability to bounce. So that's part of the game for me right now, is not trying to find levels that are just in the dark. It's trying to find names that have come in to spots that can make sense to bounce off of. And I mean, Intel, like, never fear if you're an Intel shareholder, like, you're right back to where you were in August. So it's like if you closed your eyes and woke up 8 months ago from 8 months, then you're just right back at that same level. So not too much damage done, unlike a lot of those other names that are well below where we were last summer. So I think that there could be some strength here in Intel at some point. Maybe wait to see if all of that's been washed out. But anyways, long story short for Meta, if the market rallies, these are all ifs and buts, which is why I hate talking like this. You just have to wait for the market to open up. But I would think Meta and Amazon are the two names for me. I have a really low bid on Amazon. If that gets filled, I put it in last night. It was down. Everything that I put in last night was about 10% lower. Yeah. So we're in the 150s for Amazon if that gets hit. And we're also in 10% lower for the Qs. I just thought if we ever got, I think it's about 7% low. I just did rough math. So, last night I thought if we did get circuit breakered on some of these names, that I'd want to sit there and take something because we're going to be on the show. So, all right, so let's go over and get back to the desk.
This portion of the show brought to you by our friends at Foremost Clean Energy, leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet, nuclear energy, partnered with Denison Mines with properties strategically located in the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future's nuclear. Foremost is your energy. Go to foremostcleanenergy.com. JP Morgan. Let's go to banks. JP Morgan down here this morning. 3 days. This thing's 245, 250, down to 200 bucks here. Goldman going to 45% on the chance of a recession. If you remember on Friday, we were talking about JP Morgan saying 60% chance, according to them.
I just see those gaps on the chart, Brando. That is quite ugly there. Yeah, Jamie Dimon dropping his yearly letter to shareholders. He warned that Trump's new tariffs will raise prices on both imported and domestic goods due to higher input costs and demand shifts. He says we're likely to see inflationary outcomes in his annual shareholder letter. He cautioned that while the recession is not certain, growth will certainly slow and economic risks are stacking up. He is the first of the major bank CEOs to critique publicly, that is, Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs. It's the worst equity sell-off, Brando, that we've seen since 2020. Inflation, he goes on to say, could prove stickier, meaning interest rates may stay elevated. So we'll have to see what the Fed says there. And this is a distinct shift in tone from Jamie Dimon. In January, he downplayed tariff fears, calling them good for the national security efforts of the United States. He now appears to be walking back that stance, saying the magnitude and scope of the tariffs have created many uncertainties, and he's worried about capital flow disruptions, currency risk, margin pressures. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And then he basically went on to say that the importance of maintaining the U.S.-led global order is very important, and economic isolationism is to be feared. He says here, military and economic alliances are good for the economy.
Here is the group itself, 3% plus, once again this morning. That's the XLF. Way down here, 42, 43 coming into play, guys.
Scariest market environment possible. You could have just said that, Jamie Dimon. You know what? And he's had some warnings and had some pessimism for a while. But XLF, it's a nasty breakdown that the financials had on Friday. In some ways, just because it's the financials, it was one of the ugliest moves just when you look at the daily chart, like it's like let's just go into a major support level and puke City from it and do so with extreme prejudice. Now, I like 40 on XLF. I know it seems like we're throwing out levels, and I feel like you kind of have to. In the back of my mind, like it's just when you have a market like this, oftentimes it was like in 08, like there would always be like you'd write it down on an iPad or in your sticky note or in the spreadsheet, whatever you wanted to do, or set an alert because you're like, if this gets to that level, I look for a bounce, but it's like way down. If this gets to that level, I look for a bounce because you can't just short pop everything. So like it's not this space that I'm looking to short. Way too big of a down move on Friday to want to try to chase it all the way down here. But the 40 level, going back to the April lows and the higher lows here, I really like on XLF. So it's not something that I will trade. There is an individual, and it's a fintech name that's on the radar a little bit here. And once we got underneath $9 on SoFi, all these stocks. Once we got, I chuckle, like I own SoFi, so I'm not laughing at anybody who owns the stock. I own the stock myself, guys. But this has had, like Sean said, like I'm going to be buying Intel somewhere between 1850 and 19 today if it gets down there, because that's been long time support. If SoFi gets down into the $7 level, like that, yeah, sure. Look at the long area of support that it's had. And when all of a sudden now you're this close, you got to start thinking about it. So that's the only one. I'm not really looking at any of the banks for a trade, but I think this is not a good time to be on the bid. That's a nasty Friday. They lost big time support levels. Yeah, but I'll be waiting around. If I see a 7 in SoFi, I'll be looking for that old mean reversion trade, little bottoming tail candle, little trend reverse, something like that.
Yeah, no, look, the banks have been pretty bad, man. I wrote down actually on the sticky note today, you can go look at it at Trader TV, Sean. We do have JP Morgan written down here, but it's not like, I thought, again, if there was going to be a name, because we have, so the interesting thing about the banks is the earnings report that's coming. I'm just making sure that I have Benzinga loaded up here. I don't want to forget about it. Crashed on me. They're reporting on Friday, right? So you got Wells Fargo, you got JP Morgan coming on Friday, I believe with BlackRock coming maybe as well on Friday, but more banks anyways. They're starting this Friday. So I had just thought that if we had gotten back to 210, and it's a patient game. You know, on a normal day, you would say 210. Are you crazy? Like, I don't think we're going to get up $8 here on JP Morgan. But I was just like, if we could get back to Friday's close, I want to go long on that level. We would be above the 200 period moving average. We could use that as support. We could figure it out. So for me, JP Morgan getting above 210 is pretty important. The only thing is that, like Sharif had mentioned there, Jamie Dimon's come out, been negative on it. There's been increased percentages on recessions right now for this coming year by all the analysts, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. They're all coming out and putting a dimmer look right now on the U.S. economy and globally as well. So I just wonder how much of the move right now is baked in, and what do we consider? Remember, when they report, it's the future that's going to matter. It's not the past. Right? And so what are they going to say about moving forward? Could we get some kind of green shoots from now until Thursday, Friday that helps the banking sectors? I believe yes. So I don't, like JP Morgan was just 202. All right. Now it's 205. Now it's 20. Like we were just talking about this at 202. Now it's printing 205. So that's $3 right there in 30 seconds. So just be careful with everything. There's going to be very, very tight liquidity. And we do have those imbalances that we got to go back over because we're going to talk about China. But there's NVIDIA. I don't know if Neil mentioned this. No. NVIDIA is getting crushed right now. That's a 5 million sell. Apple, wow. Look what just happened to Apple. Just got nailed, 182 to 178. Amazon, SIA, maybe we get that 150. Palantir, SIA, like everything is just like, okay, we're gonna now where did NVIDIA go? Now NVIDIA is getting paired off a little bit, but this is a 10 million sell hitting this market in 2 minutes. All right, Brendo, let's go talk about China, but I don't think this is getting any better right now.
Definitely not. Let's go real quick here. All of these looking very similar. I just brought up BABA here. It makes more sense to look at daily charts at this point. We're down here, 106, 105. This thing was 150 just going back a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, under a minute here. I mean, there's not much as far as stories are concerned that we didn't already know.
No, just here's a look at the actual Asian markets that are getting decimated along with North American markets. Hong Kong getting hit the worst, Brenda, almost 11% here to start the day, with Japan, China, and Australia also getting hit. And China has instituted retaliatory tariffs starting April 10th, 34% tariffs on U.S. imports, export controls on rare earth elements, and 16 U.S. firms added to China's export control list.
Yeah, best of luck to everyone today. Volatility is definitely back with a vengeance.
Yeah, look, you actually
feel some kind of ways.
You might see 100 on Alibaba today. So daily chart 100, 200 period 96 half. Those are the only levels that I'd be looking at for Alibaba. But as said, like where I'm kind of looking at the open is Walmart off of the pre-market highs. Maybe we get a pop that big. I'm not sure that even happens at this point, but I want to be looking to fade into those highs on Walmart. And we talked a little bit about, but didn't show Intel. So Intel, no, we did. We did.
We showed Intel, yeah.
We did.
About it.
Yeah, so there's that bottom on Intel. It's 18.5 is the technical low
What about
in here, but 19 even is where we are right now. So I'm looking some mean reverts. If we break 19, going to look for that on INTC. But it is a manic Monday, another down day for the markets. Get the bell going. It's 3, 2, and 1, brought to you by Foremost Clean Energy, Ring and Adara, and the market is open. Oh goodness! Right away, Nvidia takes 87.
Yeah, try to let some of these imbalances settle down a little bit. I just put a long in for Palantir if we break 70, if that can come in there. We're still ways away from that one, man. Our market, quick little market look right now. So we wrote down TQ's 37. We're underneath there right now. I'm still waiting for some kind of a... See, what a surprise. President Trump already right now in my ear saying that he's talking to a lot of countries worldwide. Many countries are very interested in this. So we'll see if there's some negotiation going to be happening here today. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. Where is this sort of flush out? That's the key for me. Can we find a bottom somewhere? But this is what Trump's going to be saying, man. Many people think that he wants to run for a third term. This is what we're talking about. So let's just get ready for this. Now the TQ's 36.6.
That doesn't make
Walgreens going down, okay. Everything. Nvidia still at 88. JP Morgan. I don't mean to be not looking at all these names. There's so much stuff right now. A lot of spreads, a lot of movement here in the market. Nvidia 88. I don't know if you're not in anything yet, so.
Well, Intel just broke 19. So remember, the 52-week low on Intel is like 18. It's probably underneath 18.5, but let's just call it 18.5. That's the level I was looking for a bounce on. Tesla's trying to hold out pretty well here. Holding 222 is you're holding 222 on Tesla. That's that key price. That was resistance in the aftermarket on Tesla at that 222. Walmart's not really doing much of anything. I thought maybe there'd be a bit of a pop that we could fade into some Walmart. But overall, I think it's Tesla at this 222 I want to look at first, because Walmart doesn't look like it wants to set up at all.
All right, 175. We're in a nice, real nice trade right now on Apple. We did try to buy a little bit of this dip, so now it's okay. Now it's starting to go. Whether or not we have a little bit of a top here or not, we're going to get something out. Apple just ran a little bit upside there. We are long, whatever. It's $1 in the money, but it was anyways. Now it's come right back in. This is just how violent this stuff is. We're going to have to get something out here. But we just did have a nice little run up there. My out, as I stumbled upon that, was going to be 175.48. So I didn't 175.50 break. So we'll put that out right now as we go long right here. Apple, it was just a banger, and now it's come all the way back in. So this could eventually lose out, but we took a little bit out there at the top. Now it's coming back in. So we tried there long on Apple. We'll see if it eventually dumps out here, which it looks like it wants to. So there we go, man. We tried one long there. It didn't necessarily work. Got something out there. Apple went to 179, which was VWAP right there. So that was a good trade, but now there it is. We're going to get dumped out here, I imagine, as the market pulling back in right here. So early long not working, but we tried it. We got a little piece out on Apple.
Wow, Tesla broke that 222.
Oh, did it?
Which is wild. There's also something, this is unrelated, but it's kind of, I might trade some Walgreens today. That deal seems like it's trading like it's falling apart. which doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense to me. There's supposed to be a cash buy. So Tesla broke that 222. I did not get filled on the way down as it broke 222, but I just picked it up here. I see that there's a halt on that small capper everyone's watching, ICCT. Apparently that's already halted. So I'm shorting in front of what is now VWAP and the 222 level on Tesla. See if we can get some at the actual even dollar level. There's scalp to buck, and let's see if we can hold on. I got to get Walmart. That's the other thing we're trying to be short. It just popped 81, heading into that 82. So we're looking for the short here in Walmart up around 82. So we'll see what happens. It's not there just yet, but the only thing holding a bid right now, oddly enough, that I'm watching is Walmart as we get in.
Well, that was good. I mean, at least that was one. Okay, 88, 80. I mean, okay, well, Apple's going, so yeehaw on that one, man. I mean, whatever. We're at our days, like we're hit our goal there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, these things are very, 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 very fluid and interesting. The price levels are very fluid, that's for sure. All right, so we could take an L rate here, so let's do this. 80, see this one I mean, 87, 74. If we break below 88, we're gonna get out here of NVIDIA. We did try to trust this level, on NVIDIA, so we'll, set up another bid here, but yeah, right now NVIDIA's trying to pull back through $88. Look, it's a big trade for us, or for me over here on Apple. So we just got some more out here in the mid 177s. Let's do it one more time here at 20 if we can. There it is. We get that part out as well. So so far so good here on the long and Apple, but the market is, like we said, man, very, very fluid. And these prices might be here today, but not here in 1 second. So 88 and change. If we lose 87.75, which is pretty much been the low there. 87.50 is the low. I don't even really necessarily want to go that far down. So we'll lose on this because I don't want to be double barrel long here if this market does crack. So there it goes right now. We'll get stopped out right away. We just tried this for an early bump. So I just think that that's important to know. And then obviously on Apple, we just got many more shares out there as we went back into 177.50. So it looks like we're losing everything. This sort of try early does not look very good. So we'll wait to see if there is a whoosh down, and hopefully we can join that party. But for right now, we did get stopped out of NVIDIA down there.
Adara, I think.
Just to recap that Trump post mentioned earlier today around 9:30. So basically, Trump posted on Truth Social around 9:27 a.m. And what he more or less said was that he's generally having countries from all over the world, that is a quote, trying to talk to them, saying they're setting tough but fair parameters on the part of the U.S. Donald Trump did speak to the Japanese Prime Minister this morning. This was a known event, and he said that the Japanese Prime Minister is sending a top team to negotiate. Really, though, what Donald Trump emphasizes through this post is his continued interest primarily in making changes and negotiations with China. So Donald Trump's target here with these tariffs continues to be China. That's just a recap of that Trump tariff post mentioned earlier, guys. Back to you.
So we talk about being patient and like waiting around. I was shorting under that 22 level. We got the fill right in front of the low. We then stopped, we stopped out just above 223. Probably the right decision. It went to 225 and now right back into the bottom. I think we got to let the opening range settle a little bit here. But I did say, and I'll let you guys know, I am looking to maybe build long in front of 10 on Walgreens because I don't understand why it's down so much when it's a cash deal. So I will be in it, no questions asked. Walmart, which we are trying to get short closer to 82, 82 half. It just can't seem to break 81. So yes, it's bidding while the market's going down. So I keep wanting to be patient with it, but it's just not really going any higher. So I might take one shot to wet the beak. If we close under VWAP, I'll take the shot underneath 81 on Walmart because we wanted to be short. And then Intel it's at 1875 on Intel. So we're not quite at that 18 half level, but it's getting pretty darn close to being that long off of the absolute bottom, which is like the 52-week low. So Walmart, I sometimes just have to be patient. Like this one I like for the short trade. It's not setting up too well. I said that or like Amazon maybe would be another shot, but it's not like Amazon setting up all that much better for the short unless you want to short it off VWAP. Like you're not getting a shot at that 170 that I was talking about. Apple is
really working for us right now. So no fear on Apple. So it's been a really good day for us here, there, and we'll hold out. I went back into NVIDIA just because it's down here, and we got stopped out at 88 break. I want to give this one to 87.50. And again, I feel like I am being a little bit stubborn with this because I do know that if it goes, it's definitely... If the market goes, I want to be in this, and I'm going to feel bad about missing it. So, okay, we'll take a little piece out here at 80. Oh, we just missed it at 88.10, I was like, but there it is. Look at that quick turnaround right there. We were in the money 40 cents there, and then boom, right back to flat. So this is sort of those things that we have to worry about. And this is why I was just talking about Apple. Look at that, more outs up here at basically the pre-market. I guess the open highs right now of 177, 178. So here it comes right back in again for Apple as everything's starting to bleed a little lower now. It's going to be a relatively flat day for me because we'll lose on NVIDIA, it looks like, make on Apple, and just wait. The market is downside. We did talk about TQs at 37. We obviously should have done that one right there as wow. As if, like, why do I even write these down? I say 37. If we take it, we go short, and we should have, but we didn't. So there it goes, man. This is what it's all about. Try to be patient and try to wait for some of these moves. We definitely missed the NASDAQ short. We had it written, but it doesn't matter. There goes everything now to the upside. So let's go NVIDIA. Next stop, nowhere. Hopefully we get out 91, 92s or something. I don't know. This market trying to go. We'll take some more out here of our friend Apple as well because that just busted through 177 again. So let's see if we can get a little bit higher here. 178.25, my next offer. And there goes NVIDIA. We just had $1. Okay, here it goes. Now NVIDIA is $1, so that's good. As we're starting to get back up to the upside, taking a little bit more out here in the 50s on NVDA so far. So there it is, man. All right, 2 times daily goal right now. But again, we're not going to celebrate anything until we're flat on this market.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the market's all over the place. I took our first shot at Walmart. It just doesn't want to go. I was just adding to Walgreens. It just doesn't want to go. It's holding 81 even.
Wow.
So it doesn't seem like it's moving too much with the market as the market bounces. But I'm giving it to the local high. I'm not holding this one all the way to 82.5. Intel, which we do want that long in. It is coming down. It's now underneath 18.7, so it's getting pretty close to down to that 18.5 zone. And I forgot all about IBIT, everybody. So IBIT bouncing off pre-market lows, starting to look like it's in a little bit of a recovery mode. I said if we held underneath VWAP and looked weak, that I wanted to try to play catch up in Mara if it broke 10. But Mara is above VWAP and trending higher. So this needs to at least break trend back in for me to get into Mara. The only thing I'm in right now is obviously Walmart, which we're at VWAP as we speak. Going to bid in front of 80 and see if this one wants to join the party to the downside. It's kind of just hanging out, going a little bit sideways so far. Oh, I forgot about Alibaba. Alibaba trending, number 196. Looking for some turnaround zones on Baba.
All right, so again, man, that was a good idea to get out. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA just, first of all, Apple, 178. That was good, man, and we take advantage of that move, and this is why I'm saying, nothing worth celebrating because there goes NVIDIA. We were just getting out 88.60. Now it just dropped into 87 again, potentially made that bottom, so we get out right there before we have to experience even lower. So out at 87.50 there on NVIDIA. I got to clean up that wick that we have right there. So out there, which is fine, not great. I mean, obviously we'd like to have a win there, but Apple, huge move up to 178. Okay, now see how the volume...
AMD is at $78.
AMD is at $78. Okay, that might be a whoosh down moment. But same with NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA's making the move lower too. So I don't think any of these names right now are safe. So take that for what it's worth. This is a big move down. 9%.
I mean...
Apple's holding out, man. I don't even know how we picked this one, to be honest with you. We just got a couple good bids. We just got more down there at 176 and out 178. So there we go. Take a little bit more. But we're going to have to wait now to see what winds up happening here with Apple. It's a downside play right now and not looking great.
Alphabet's trying to hold VWAP right now.
Yeah, the whole market's making a move right now, though, Neil. Apple, we're out at 175.50 if it goes. So, so from our only winner right there, for me anyways, for Apple, there it goes, man. There's the move down. We're starting to get washed right now. The NASDAQ's now down 5. Alert up, man. The NASDAQ's down now 5%. Oh, I don't have my stream deck.
Keep an eye on SUNE if you're looking for a small cap play. This is Sun Nation Energy. Penny stock here trading around 50 cents. Up on the day with about a 1.5 million share float. SUNE. Back to the guys.
Okay, still waiting for that flow.
So that 52-week low on Intel is here pretty much right about now, everybody. Like we just tagged at 18 and a half, so the mean reversion could come into play as we speak. I'm going to take my first shot at it. Oh, shoot, where's my bid on Walmart? All right. I must have accidentally canceled that. Just very quickly, Walmart did make the break lower underneath VWAP there, so yeah, just got first bid out there, trying to reload this one in front of 81 and just play the trend into the downside. But we said we'd look for some mean reversions at monster levels. Well, 18 and a half, first shot here for myself in Intel. It actually didn't get to 18 at. The low right now is 1856. I'm going to give this to basically to the low. I don't want it making a fresh low on me. If we get a VWAP or trace, fantastic. But it's only because of where we are on that daily chart that I'm interested in. It's just that support level that came in. Obviously, we just showed you guys what's happening to AMD. That is nasty, nasty, nasty. So you got to let things breathe a little bit, take some shots, because if you're not holding on to a trend short, I think you're looking for the very specific type of bounce levels here. So if I see Bob at 100 or Bob at 96, one of those two, I did like that as well. But Intel trying to get a bit of a bounce. Walmart bouncing a little bit off of the 80 level even. I'm short of 80.79, looking for a reload if I can get it in front of 81s. Ooh, wish we had another couple short opportunities. I wonder if Mara's setting up yet. No, how? Why is
Still waiting
Mara
for some
holding?
bottoms here.
Mara's holding $10 for reasons unknown to me. I don't know why it's so strong relatively, but I think it'll start to break down at some point if the market keeps doing this.
All right, yeah. All right, well, we got into the TQs here. We did miss that potential bottom there on Apple of 175. I really tried to punch it, man. Now I'm starting to feel some kind of ways about not punching it. I tried 175 16s. I tried everything I could possibly try there. Not possibly. I did not want to sit in front of a falling knife. So that was the difference there with Apple. I was trying to let it settle down. It's a good thing we went over to the futures. So we do have a position now down here at 35. So we're able just to grab that. I mean, we were looking for capitulated volume. We didn't really get it. So I'm going to make my way out of this name here, the futures, if we can. We just had a nice move up, so we did take advantage of that. Right now, we're out of half of this futures play, so hopefully we can continuation higher here, but that might have just been that one bounce. So we're definitely taking some pressure off of this position right now and getting some more out here. So I'm gonna take another piece right here if we can get it in the high 40s again, because if we're gonna take risk, if this breaks 35, we're out. So it looks like it wants to do that right now. As I'm just trying to, okay, there it goes. I'm just trying to find the bottom here.
How fast we move down after bounces.
Right.
So just one note, guys, the VIX is breaking 54. Overnight resistance was at 55. So I think if we get up to 55, that'd be another spot. Like if you're looking for a dip buy bounce play and your current level is breaking, then I think wait around at least for 55 to get tested on the VIX. That's about $1 from here because, oops. Well, we were just at, like I was saying, we were just at 1870 and then we bounced right back into the lows on Intel. Now it's starting to go again. That's how crazy this is. Like we were just falling back in a little bit here. I'm playing this into VWAP. I'm not convinced that any move to the upside is going to be any big, long, pronounced upside move. But it's hard not to look at AMD down 8%.
Holy shit, Apple.
And start to think about like where could you find a reversion play? Like it's so far down here. Where's my weekly chart here? I'm just going to show you guys a weekly chart of AMD. If it gets to 10%, great, but that's just the old SSR bounce play. 75 is, let's just say 75 is a level. So it's already getting to a spot where I think you can look for some kind of meaningful reversion play. I don't know if this bottoming tail candle was just it, but if we keep trending down on AMD, I think that 75 is coming into play for me. Intel seems to want VWAP in here. It just tagged 18.9. Looks like it wants to get to 19. But if you hold 19, you're holding a trend down. So I won't let it fail the 19 level and not get out of this one for sure.
Oh, man, getting out of that Apple hurts, man. Getting out of that Apple hurts a lot. But right now, we are at the highest moment we've been at all day. And I don't know, now we're at 2.5 times daily goal. We just went back over to the futures. So now I'm going to wait to see if we can get something into 40. Okay, here he goes right now. All right, I'm going to get something out here. There it is. Yes, sir. Oh, my God, Neil. This is going to be the biggest futures trade I've ever had right now. So here we go, 36.50. We're long down here at 35. So we've got about, it's good, man. It's about 200 handles, but we're going to wait to see if that is the bottom or not. more outs there, more life as we get up to $37 right now. That was the level that we had talked. Okay, let's go. That's the level that I'm going to get out some more here. That's the level that we had talked about on. This is my problem with scalping. If I just stayed in this, this is the level that we looked at earlier on our futures candle right there. So, okay, this is a big one for me, man, right now. We're really starting to go upside now. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll just hit the money because we're now at 3 times goal, but that doesn't mean anything on a day like today because, you know, when we lose more than that. So we got to have to, well, we don't lose more than that, but we're going to have to wait to see where this is going because this could just be a little bit of a bounce there. We're actually out of a little more than half of our position right now. So I'm trying not to overtrade. I'm just trying to sit here, get out on these bumps because it's a big winner. So I think you got to celebrate your wins, especially in days like today. And there it goes, man. Oh, yeah. Right back to 37. Neil, this is big. 4 times goal right now.
That's what it's all about here. I can't believe it, but somehow Walmart is holding to the downside. We just broke clean through VWAP at 19 on Intel. It's got to be trend out at this point, so trend in, trend break in, I should say, and we'll trend out of this one. If it loses the 19 level, probably just a few shekels underneath the 19, we'll try to respect that. Walmart is still actually holding underneath VWAP itself, so this one's still looking good. I mean, as the market comes back up here, we're 3.5 on the NASDAQ, but let me just show you the ES, because I think that's going to matter in here. If we break away from VWAP on the ES, then I don't want to be reloading Walmart unless we're up at those highs. So this one's still holding underneath, looking like it's an okay short. But wow, this is now a precipitous move back into said upside. Let's see if Intel can hold. Yeah, it's holding 19.2. This was the opening range top. If we get to pre-market highs, that's definitely going to be an out. I guess AMD didn't want to get there, unfortunately. AMD didn't want to go to 75. That's a big bounce. It's already at VWAP itself. So might have missed a turn there on advanced micro devices, but that wasn't part of the plan. We knew we wanted Intel in front of 1850. I actually didn't expect to see $78 on AMD. That's absolutely insane. Uber, this was one that we kind of threw in there like late. Well, you had mentioned late. This is holding trend down. So now if we make another leg, all those levels that we liked before, like that 60 level on Uber, they could still come into play. We're just at VWAP. If we don't break it, we could resume downtrend and then remember where those dip buy zones are.
Hey guys, I'm going to scalp out some more here because we're over now $37. So this is 200 handles. We have the very low of the day in the futures. Again, it was just kind of lucky. I just saw Apple absolutely give it up, and I was trying to get longer on Apple, and I missed it. And I was like, if I really like the long, like literally, it's really too bad. I punched and I missed the punch. That's like how fast it went. I don't have a market order, so I missed the punch back at 175. We went down there. We made that bottom. I tried long. I even bid up to 175.16s. I don't know. It was just random. I was just going like crazy. And then I just was able to punch the long in the futures. So this is making everything just feel so much better now as we come right back up to the upside. Now 230 handles right there from that bottom. So yeah, man, we didn't miss anything. I mean, we're having just a real, okay, there goes Palantir. I might have to get into this one now because I do not necessarily want this one to ruin my day. We've already, or just add to it, I guess, go Palantir. We've already had a monster move there in the futures, so I want to respect this Palantir move, but at the same time, we're already huge in the futures. I do not want to give everything back here on Palantir. We put this 70 break earlier, was not really expecting this to come in. Neil, this is a monster day for me, man, as we go. This is my biggest day of the year. So we're starting to go long now. We're starting to get upside. Let's go. Wow, we feel like a trader today, guys. There it is. It's a nice move there to the upside. We really nailed the TQs. I think, I don't want to say it, this is probably the biggest P&L trade in a very long time for me here on the show. So we are really adding, man. And it's this Palantir trade also. Sorry, I'm on the TQ still, my bad. There's Palantir right there breaking 70. We talked about this earlier. I didn't realize I was on the Qs. But there it goes, man. There goes Palantir. There goes the futures. Oh boy, Mr. Roberts. This is our neighborhood today. You and I destroying this. Great trade there on Intel. Good trade on Walmart. This is my biggest day of the year. Of maybe of all time for trading here live with you guys. So I don't feel I feel fine telling you guys that, honestly. We didn't have a good day on Friday, so it's really nice to battle this back, man. 300 handles in the money on the futures, and we put in one of our biggest positions, and we told you that was going to be one of the positions, and we just took a dollar right now on Palantir, so far so good. I wish we would have held Palantir a little bit more. Thank you, Randy. You the man right there today, man. Yeah, no, we're green.
The market's trying to go.
Yeah, this is going to be a good day for the markets. Let's go. Keep going to the upside, man. Big day, Neil, over here. I'm not sure where it ranks for you, but this is a monster day for me here today.
Well, I can tell you so far. Okay, I'm out. I'm watching tape on Intel. There was some selling starting to come in here, pre-market high. I said, we'll give it to VWAP, put the trend break in there. If it did break the trend, it did not. So it got up to that top. Start to see some sellers come in exactly where I thought maybe it could happen as we're testing some overnight resistance. But on ES, we're still in the Walmart short, however, as Walmart starts to come right back in here, everybody. And, oh, come on, load. There we go. Right back into our level. I'm not reloading this unless we hold underneath that 81. So we like this one short, but it's not some automatic reload on this one. We're going to get out of this if it breaks the high, just be able to walk away, move on over to the next, which I do think is going to be Bitcoin. As IBIT, right at that 44 level, we're just chilling out at 78,000. This is trying to break back out. It's got a monster gap on it. Obviously, we're not going to get to 42, which I like to the long side. But maybe we dip back into VWAP on IBIT. We do want to be long on Bitcoin here. We always thought it held up pretty well.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah, we're getting pretty emotional. Like this is a good day. Like so, we'll wait to see what winds up happening here. I'm just going to start to cover some more of this here on Palantir. And I mean, these futures are now 300 handles in the money. Like this is, let's go. Like I said, this is the biggest. I want to say just straight trading, the biggest, maybe the biggest day I've had trading in Trader TV Live's history, maybe for myself. And it's just on 2 trades, and it's the futures that really mattered. And there it goes, man. Wow. Okay, so Palantir's still going. I don't know what else you guys want to do. This is just buying, and I want to say that if we get up to the pre-market levels here on the futures, then potentially that's a stop. But we are just still going higher right now. If we have the bottom, I want to be in it. But at the same time, like I want to play with house money. And that's what we're doing now. But it's like you look down and you see what's sitting there in your blotter, and you don't want it to go away. So I am starting to trade. I've always been trading off net. But like I said, this is just... Big. So I don't know. We had waited for this. We waited for something there. We waited for the flush. I feel like we did really well getting it. And now we just got to size down a bit and start to still continue to trade. But like I'm starting to get some out here because again, man, just an absolute monster. I don't know what kind of size you had on your trades there, Neil, but we are having, like I said, for me, the biggest day in the last 7 years. So congratulations to anybody that rolled some of the trades that I've had on there. And we did have one trade that we missed, and that was NVIDIA. Like, believe it or not, we were long at 88s. Believe it or not, 88 came home, and we did not have that enough to hold it, but whatever, man. It's just a big one right now. So just relax and breathe because the futures are still going, Neil, and our net is just climbing right now. Should have held on to things, but what am I supposed to do? All right, congratulations on Intel.
Well, we're looking for more. You always have to look for more, like what is the next trade? I've said it's going to be IBIT for me. We just broke it out, try to get that dip buy in here. I like 44, that's going to be about 77K on IBIT. But if we're going to end up having to chase something, the other name that we liked, it was over-under on Tesla at 222. That now sits VWAP for Tesla. You've got a pretty decent V-shaped recovery in here, everybody, so just want to try to respect it. The NASDAQ is trying to break out those highs. If we go, Tesla, 220 is where it bounced before. 220 is what it's over right now. That's what I have to wait for, that 222. We only traded at one price. Want to be specific about the price areas. Like if I didn't have a price in mind, I didn't want to be fading anything or long anything at just sort of random levels. The other name that we're looking at at least, well, we thought maybe there'd be a chance of that Uber 60. At this point, I don't think we're going to get it. And Amazon, oddly enough, Amazon 170 was a fade zone for me. So when I look at it here, it's at the 170 level, but I'm not forced to go short. And I'm only thinking short if it's going to close breaking trend, or we can just start working long off the 170, if that's the way it's going to be. So I wanted to resolve this candle over or under at this price, and then we can jump into it. But it's definitely dip buy on IBIT and Walmart. If Walmart fills in the gap, I'm still looking short 82.5. Like, that's the price we wanted. It's still underneath the 200-period moving average. So even if the market breaks out, there's plenty of room for us to be patient and wait for this to get to our level for the short. I believe I heard we're supposed to go to Adara.
Watch out for some of these banks here. This is Bank of America. Sky News reporting that some executives from banks held private talks about these Trump tariffs and their potential impacts. Bank of America, HSBC, and Barclays were amongst these talks. So keep an eye on some of these banks. Reportedly, I think worth noting here that apparently some of these bank executives talking privately about the impact of Trump tariffs. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. Appreciate it for sure. Okay, we're still at 82. Intel's breaking out big time. Where's my reverse? All right, if we're not going to get any dip buys to jump back into it, I always think about pre-market levels, pre-market highs going into prior support. That should be some kind of resistance to get us a dip to join back in on trend at about 19. So if we can get 19s there, we like IBIT at 44. If there's even a chance to come back into it, that's the level we like. Tesla's absolutely gone right now, and we're about 50 cents away from our entry point into Walmart. Actually, a decent chance we could get Walmart. Oh, I did say I was going to build a position in Walgreens, and I forgot to do so.
All right, guys. Yeah, here we go again. The market is just going, and I don't, it's been hard. Not very often are we too speechless here, but like this move, it's so funny. Like when Palantir came in, we were having a great day, and I was like, do I want to ruin this by punching the top? We've punched the tops in so many names often. And we talked about this Palantir trade that we liked it. Wow. Neil, man, I don't even know, like the day that we're having right now, we're 500 handles. Like we have this bottom. We're long at 16.7 on the NASDAQ. It's at 17.3 right now. Like this move is real. Like this is what we have. We have this on. So I don't know. Thank you, Obi. Thank you, everybody there. It's been just, I don't, speechless. What's up, Adara? Wow, dude.
No news properly for this bounce. There's some talk coming out of the EU and the UK about countermeasures for tariffs, but nothing really to explain this move to the upside. We know right before the market opened, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that he's trying to, or not trying to negotiate with some countries, but that a lot of countries are looking to talk to him. Japan is apparently setting in a team to negotiate, but China is still Trump's target. He made it very clear that that is the country above all that he wants to resolve some of these trade issues with. So Goldman Sachs now joining the group of banks or institutions saying that there are higher recession odds. Though again, this bounce certainly is something to be aware of for this market. These comments, of course, coming before we get that drop at the open, then a nice pop here. Here's META, briefly back above $500, though right now we're back below that level. Currently, META announcing some of their new models this morning in the AI space, including the Llama 4 Scout. Then we have TSLA. Tesla got a rare price target downgrade from noted bull Dan Ives of Wedbush this morning, moving the price target to 550, from 550 to 315 amidst some concerns for the brand. And we have a lot of these financial institutions on watch as well. JP Morgan and Wells Fargo amongst the names that will be reporting on Friday morning to kick off Q1 2025 earnings season. JPM, like a lot of these names, at highs, but starting to reverse a little bit here. Back to you.
Yeah, a little bit attempted reversion here. Well, I'm only taking the one because Walmart was part of our short plan up here. We just broke back underneath 82. If we get to volume weighted average price, that's 81 even. For sure going to take it out in front of that. If we do get a dip, that sustains a little bit here. Intel back into 19. Remember, it's a 52-week low that we're bouncing off of. So I want to play a continuation play, looking for 19s there. And then IBIT, we're looking for either VWAP or prior high. I don't care which one it bounces off of. Want to look for the dip on either one of those two. So we're back into the Walmart short, waited for it to get to 82 bucks. Just got to 82 with a bit of a wick. We'll short it back into VWAP and look to pick up some dip buys on, well, stick with Intel and jump into IBIT, because that's the first time, if we get IBIT, that we'll have had it pretty much all day long here. So market's trying to top it out. Remember, if we take out those highs, I don't think I've seen a day where it was this bad in the morning and we had a rally and didn't at least attempt to go to green. That's how it used to be when it was like 2020 and like 08, like those types of days. Like when you'd have that kind of reversal, usually you'd follow it through after what we saw last week. So I think you want to be able to join any longs that you already liked. I don't know if AMD is going to be part of that picture for me, but certainly Intel again, and then IBIT, if we can even catch a bid at this point. I don't want to chase things too far, but if we end up just holding 44 a quarter, then that's what I got to jump into.
All right. TQs, we do have a stop finally in place. You know, if we break 38, I mean, that's the 200 period moving average. So if we break 38, we're going to get out of half of what we have left. I'm very, very proud to say we only have 10% left. Like, so, you know, again, for me, like that's good bunch of outs, man, on that upside. So let's just see if we can continue to watch out for those plays. But yeah, man, I mean, if it breaks lower for me on TQs, we're going to get out. But I do want to be able to. 10% is not a great amount, but like I said to you, this is what trading is, man. And you know, if you're going to try to do it, then I got to try to do it. And we did get out on the way up, so that was going to be. I don't think it's going to be a problem or anything that we did that, because the money's in our pocket right now. But at the end of the day, you do want to be very, very careful that you don't get too carried away with all of these trades, because they can easily turn around. And I was just getting out, like we just went to 39.50. I should probably put an offer somewhere up there again. If we're getting a little nervous of a potential pullback in, then yeah, we should start to cover a little bit up there near 39.50. So we'll do that. And then even on Palantir, it's $3. We haven't done this yet, but it's been just one of those, man. So. Oh boy. All right, so if we do pull back on the TQs, we're going to get some more out. We've just been getting some more out on Palantir. Let's put an offer up here as well, around 73.50, so we'll get some more out there. Okay, come on, TQs. I'm getting a little nervous. I'm going to put out one piece here at, if we can get a teens. Okay, we just got something there. Was it? It was this. So a couple outs there as well. Okay, there it is. So now we're getting out on the high side. All right, so now we're starting to climb a little bit to where we were before. So a couple more outs there on Palantir and on the TQs. Look, man, we had NVIDIA nailed. We actually wrote down NVIDIA 88. How low does it get? 87 is where we got punched out. So 87.50 there, only to see it rip to the high side back in the play. And then we missed that Apple. We had Apple too. Like we had Apple right there, but instead we flipped over and got the futures right there. So we are starting to come up into VWAP, into some key spots. So you have to be careful with that. We wrote down JP Morgan 210. So it came real close to 210 as well. JP Morgan gets right back into the spot again. Wow, Neil, there goes the futures. Now back up to near highs one more time for the TQs. Let's see what winds up happening. Can we take out the day's high? That'd be nice if we could. So there it goes, man. It's a huge move upside. We can look at some other names though. Tesla, I don't know, that's still 229. We had looked at maybe shorting if it got back to the closing price. That kind of happened, but not really, 234. So we got to wait for 237, but oh boy, man, it's
trying to break.
It's just an absolute, we're having our, like I've already mentioned, man, for me, I'm having the best day since we started the show. And I think we started the show 5 years ago or so. So it's going to be a big day today. So we're really happy with ourselves. And it's just about patience, staying in the zone, you know, following the lead of the market and not over trading really for me today. So that was been pretty good. So there it goes. What's up, Farm Trader and everybody else?
Yeah, the market, oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say we just broke that high, or we're breaking that high on IBIT. Does look like we're still in a bit of a dip mode. I'm still looking for the bull flag buy the dip situation here in IBIT and Intel. Tesla might not be what we thought it was just yet. See, this is a crazy thing. Like, we filled in the gap, And then look at these topping tail candles. Like, look at the weakness up here on something like a Tesla. I'm not necessarily jumping for joy that this is turning into a long just yet. It's almost like I would want it to break out and show buyers above the 230 level. We're still going to hold on to Walmart because that is, oddly enough, like I said, we get to the top, we reject the top, and we're holding it. So there really isn't anything telling me that this isn't still a short at our next level. And if we can get back in there, I think that'll provide everybody with some interesting dip buys for sure. Amazon, another big Mag 7 name. This is a little bit stronger. Like when I look over at Tesla, it's like, well, okay, do you like a long in Tesla? Can't break out the pre-market highs. Amazon's cleared it out and now bull flagging in green territory already. So Amazon's already gone green. As far as I'm concerned, this one makes a heck of a lot more sense than jumping on over to Tesla. Let me just double check my Walmart biz, because if Amazon's going to go, Walmart might go as well. And that leads me to want to take something out inside of this candle, inside of this bull flag, instead of on the outside. So I'll let it fill me at the bottom and try and take some out in front of VWAP and respect the fact that these retailers are starting to look a little bit strong. But it's Amazon that stands out for me right now, clearly looking like its best of breed. Like, how many things have already gone green? I really only see Amazon at this particular moment. So I want to look to join that. If we can't get Intel and if we can't get IBIT on dips, Amazon breaking out and well above that 170 level. I said I was going to be short under if it tried to hold. It's not. It's just breaking away from that 170 level. So thank goodness that we weren't actually going to short it. And that's the thing. You do not have to stand in front of something just because you're like, oh, I like this price level. Never really set up all that great for the short trade. I think now you work the long on Amazon off that same 170 level for sure. What else you guys looking at here? Darwin AMC, 7%. I've seen a few people mention that the AMC is strong. That's great. Congratulations. I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I think in a market like this, you got to be at least a little bit careful, or at least particular in the names, the types of plays you make. And I know what this did on Friday at the same level, and what it did was kind of dump right back into prior close. I feel like if money's coming back in to some of the market, to big cap tech, to some of the better names, why would you want to mess around with AMC if everything else is looking relatively strong? So like I said, going to trim a little bit of Walmart because of what I saw over there in Amazon, and see if we can't work that long in the Amazon as well. Ton Vo, thank you for the super chat here. Thoughts on Restoration Hardware after 40% dip last week? Furniture tariff, supply chain reliance on Vietnam. Well, I mean, you just sort of said it right there. I don't like the retail names that are affected by tariffs at all. Like, I think if I'm jumping into something and buying, by the way, you said not reloading that Walmart, good thing we took some out, do not want to be fighting this. I think if you're taking a shot at buying some of these
What
dips,
the hell?
I don't think you want it in names that are going to be affected by those tariffs. I did not get enough Walgreens.
Neil, I don't know. Like, we keep on talking about this. I don't know what's up with you over there, but for right now, I mean, you got a great trade there. Walmart, Intel. We are 650 handles, Mr. Roberts, in the money rate. What is going on, Adara, and so on and so forth? The futures just went green. We are now huge. This market is a monster, Neil. We are huge today. Huge. This is our best day now, but it's not even close. There we go, man. We are $17 in the money. We're $7 in the money on this Palantir trade. I was nervous about this trade. There goes Palantir to the upside. There goes the futures to the upside. This is why you trade futures. This is what happens. You can blow up like this any day. What just happened in this market? It is one of them days over here, guys. What the heck is going on right now? We talked about this yesterday. I did with some of the hockey guys. I was like, Trump might come out and just be like, okay, we need more time. There's so many countries. I talked about this earlier today even. There's so many countries want to negotiate with us. But right now, this market is absolutely blast up, man. We're $17. This market is huge right now. I hope that Intel's still flying for you as we are now huge. Let's just keep taking some out, man. That monster out there on the TQs. You never know what news is going to hit. And oh boy, was that something else, man. Defibrillator, where are you at? What's up, Adara?
I don't have any news on the market, but I do have some news on Boeing, which is doing quite nicely today. The lawyers for some families involved in a Boeing lawsuit announced that apparently Boeing has settled lawsuit with families of two 737 MAX crash victims on the night of the trial. So apparently Boeing settling some suits here. BA nicely to the upside, along with everything else. Worth noting this story as Boeing continues to fly to today's highs. Back to you.
Oh, I knew I should have loaded that 10.
Wow.
I turned over and I said, I got to build a position in Walgreens, but then I didn't quite build enough. It is what it is. I only took it when it was breaking above 1020 because that was a significant price level. But this is filling in. It's filling in the gap like everything else. There's a decent part of me that's saying to myself, I should have just gone loaded in front of that 10. And it doesn't really matter. But we'll take whatever we can. Intel, you were asking about Intel. I didn't get back into Intel. It's right at $20 now on Intel. Sometimes you throw those stink bids in for a reason, everybody, that the market is doing recovery. And we're already, it's already green and already ridiculous at this particular point. I'm not seeing anything that I want as a fade. Tesla's going to be at $250 in a couple of seconds here. 250 on Tesla. You've got to be kidding me. So big time relief rally in this market. Absolutely unbelievable. It doesn't matter what you're watching. It's probably up unless it's the VIX because UVXY. What's crazy about this is, why can't I pull up UVXY? What's crazy about this is UVXY, which I just said UXVY. UVXY for us right now is halted. So I can't remember. It's probably happened before, but I don't think I've seen this before. And this is just volatility, but a halted to the downside. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Adara.
We do have a little bit of news here. It looks like just coming in now for this market push. Kevin Hassett, who is Trump's, or I guess the White House's economic advisor, apparently said that Trump is considering a 90-day pause in tariffs for every country except for China. So as the market pulls back a little bit, Kevin Hassett, again, White House economic advisor, saying that Donald Trump is considering a 90-day tariff pause for all countries except for China. Worth noting, this directly contrasts words that we had coming through this weekend from Howard Lutnick, who is the Commerce Secretary for the U.S. right now. He actually said the tariffs will definitely go into effect, but regardless, keep an eye here on the market. Apparently, looks like Trump will consider a 90-day pause in tariffs for countries that are not China. But before we send you back to the guys, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Worksport, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ, Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport's a U.S.-based manufacturer, and they are rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. So whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solution, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. Back to you.
Pause is all they needed. Well, that explains it. Bye-bye.
We're 1,000 handles in the money. So I think we should get some more out. All right, like Palantir's $10 now. Like, was not even coming close to expecting that. Like, we were so nervous when this popped in that I started getting out like crazy there. And then this started to happen. All right, so there's the futures. We just waited, and it's thanks, Frank Jones. It's nice. So thank you, conservative movement, everybody there. Everyone's really happy to see me happy, so I'm happy for that too. Yeah, look, I mean, this is what we do this for, right? I mean, there's reasons why we sit here and look at the futures every day and trade it. We wait for things like this. So there it goes, man. It's just, like I said, this is my biggest day in the last 5 or 6 years. And we just keep on trucking higher. And I just feel bad for getting out all the way up, but I don't, because I do when you look back at it. The NASDAQ's now up 4%. Like, the NASDAQ is up 4%. We can rewind this thing when we were down here. We're like, okay, we're down 5% today. It's a complete, I mean, obviously we have like, we're now 11. I've never even said we're in the money 500 handles. 1,150 handles. Now from the bottom, we're long down here, Neil, at 1670 right now, 16,700. It's at 18.3.
These are unprecedented bounces. From the open, Palantir is up 22% from the open. Affirm is up 20% from the open. SoFi is up 21% from the open. Amazon and Nvidia 16, 15%. That's from the open what we're seeing here. CCL 13. Like, these are all ridiculous. And you see what the kind of the ridiculous, absurd trade rate is. Nvidia just broke $100. I mean, that's insane. Obviously, look, man. Did I think that Intel was going to be up 4% today? There is a 0%. I usually say you should never consider anything 0%. You should consider all probabilities. This is as close to a 0% probability as I've ever seen, for sure. There's no question about it. So this is absolutely flying. Marvell is flying. Micron, it's nuts to say it. Yeah, it's right back up to 72. Like, we were just talking about the death of, it's still pretty ugly on the daily chart, but the death of Micron. Some of these dip buys are absolutely ridiculous. So it doesn't really matter what you're looking at here, everybody. But all you could do is, if you were bearish on anything, you had to get away from it. You just had to get away. I'm not saying you had to punch along. I didn't hear that Trump story. I actually haven't heard any stories in my ear at any point. And I was saying the whole time, and I'm going to kick myself over this, because I was saying the whole time, this one's BS, regardless of whether the market bounces or not. I kept saying I should be building a position in Walgreens. I should be building a position in Walgreens. I didn't. It's okay, but I should be like 3, 4, 5x core weave on this stock. But like I said, it is what it is. Make the next trade. Friday's highs, I'll be out of everything except for maybe breadcrumbs, as Sean said, if we get into Friday's highs. Well, not highs, sorry. Forget about highs. I'm talking about the high during the day, because the highs are up here at almost $11. I don't think this is going back to the price, because there's something a little bit broken in this deal, and part of the reason for that is what's going on with JWN. That was a really deep pullback on Tesla just now. Yikes. Tesla just dropped $10 in a single shot here, so the market is starting to come back in here. I'm inclined to believe let it settle down before making the next move, because that's exactly what this market's given you. All you had to do is have 1 or 2 things off the bottom and you should be good, but there's no need to just jump on the bid here as things start to come back in. I'll go back to the names that we wanted, but I think the prices that we can get them at are a little bit different from before, as I found myself still bidding 44.20 on iBid. Let me just go ahead and cancel that bid here. Bitcoin up. West K, Bitcoin up 2%. Our iBid chart's just going to show it from prior close, which is completely irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. We had from bottom to top, we're actually more than 2% to the upside. Let's see if we can't pull back, put a higher low in. Forget about VWAP. You've moved so far away from the volume weighted average price that I don't know that it's going to be that great of an indicator for us here this morning. Let's go to Adara for the small cap recap.
This IWM 15-minute chart looking pretty much like the whole market today. We push to the lows, I guess pre-market lows here off the open, in IWM's case being the low around 170. Now currently trading around 185. We had this pop, but we've already given back some of that move. Here's Jen over JNVR. This one's already halted. This company, we had a story that a team formerly of Kraken has acquired a majority stake in JNVR. Then we have WCT. This one's already given up some of this move, but keep an eye on WCT as well. As you could see, pretty range bound, had a nice pop to the upside on Friday as well. And last but not least, BJDX. Blue Jay Diagnostics was by far our largest small cap gapper this morning. No news, but about a 440,000 share float for Blue Jay Diagnostics. Back to you.
Blue Jay Diagnostics.
Yeah,
that's
my wife just, that's funny because
we signed Vlad.
Yeah, we just signed Vlad, but that's nice. Right here, look at this. Here's a Blue Jay in my yard right now. Look at this. This looks like Vlad a couple years ago when the guy was on.
That's a big ass. That's a big.
Look at this Blue Jay right here. This is in my yard. We have a lot of.
What's he eating out of your?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's a monster
actually,
Blue Jay here. Oh, there we go. Zoom in a little bit. Shout out to my wife. She knows it's my favorite bird. So we have a lot of them. I like hawks. And
I like cardinals, actually.
Yeah, we have tons of cardinals. I'll get her to send some pictures there, but there's a Blue Jay.
Erin loves cardinals,
so
because she just thinks they're prettier.
Oh yeah, cardinals are really nice. The Blue Jays get huge, which is what's awesome about them in my opinion.
Wow, we might. I was joking that we wouldn't see VWAP that quickly. We might. Like Intel just went red again. Like, that's wild. We could actually see this 19.3. As much as a relief rally that was, the thing about, like, yeah, I was looking for some reversions off the top, but you're not getting a clean trend reversion. It's just not going to happen. Wayfair halted? Get out of here.
He's halted upside, I would imagine, right?
No, we're getting
Palantir's halted.
We're getting down halt. This pullback is so big. We got down halts on Wayfair. We got down halt on Palantir.
I just saw it.
Limit down. Okay,
No, it
so
can't be though. Can it? Is it that fast?
I think it is. I think it
must
is.
be.
But this might be a. I've never seen anything like this where you just have a bunch of regular stocks, for lack of a better term, regular stocks halting on a massive up move. Like, it's 1% up, and on the pullback, you're halting back into the downside. I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to look to see what else might be halted. I'm going to pick one and look for an open trade. So where's my halt scanner? There's a bunch of stuff halted on the halt scanner here, but
Futures don't halt.
no, the futures don't halt, everybody. Although UVXY did. Volatility halted, which was, I think, some kind of a sign for us that UVXY.
I'll get out of a piece. Yeah, no, we're so we're in the Palantir trade. I'm not.
Wait a minute, this didn't
I
open
am by
back
far
up.
not worried about any of this. We've cashed out. We
Wait a
talked
minute.
about we had less than 10% left of the TQs, and that was before this move. So right now I have less than 5% left of these TQs, and we just got some more out right now. So we're pretty much holding pretty much all of our gains. I mean, I didn't even know these were halted. That's like how it's not even affecting the net.
The UVXY is open back up.
Yeah, so watch out there, Palantir. So I think when we open back up, we'll rip. So what is NVIDIA? NVIDIA's coming back down, and this is probably worth a long down here as well. NVIDIA, now that the market's flat, remember the market was just up 5%, and NVIDIA just had a huge move down into 92.75. So yeah, I feel like once this market opens, we rip again. So let's be very, very careful with it and see what happens with some of these stocks. So remember, we're very far down now on the TQ. So we just got another piece out. We just did it live with you guys, and now we're starting to fall down even more right now. So we'll just keep on going and figuring it out. But like I said, I'm having a huge day today, and that's why we took it out. We said we're like, oh man, we wish we were holding, but like when this happens, now we're kind of coming back into some levels of concern now. 39,
This is
like
ridiculous.
right back into VWAP. So the market is coming back down pretty nicely. Obviously, there will be news to the ground here, or ear to the ground, and if we do hear anything, we'll get that for you right away. But I think the market bounces a little bit off of this. It's just a pullback, as many of these stocks, of course,
I think it's
are
the halts that are the
halted.
issue.
So, okay, on point here, we have Adara.
So the reason for this move to the upside seemed to be related to the fact that senior White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett had said that Donald Trump was considering a 90-day pause for tariffs for every country that was not China. Now CNBC reporting that no one at the White House is aware of this 90-day pause. So after Kevin Hassett said Trump was considering a 90-day pause, CNBC reporting that apparently no one at the White House has heard of this potential pause for tariffs. As such, market falling back to the downside in violent fashion. Back to you.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh,
Fake news.
I missed
No,
the story, man.
No, so
still in
apparently,
the daze over here.
apparently it's just no. They just simply said no one at the White House is aware of that pause. So that's why you went limit down. Circuit breaker on Palantir's not open yet. Look, it'll be open in 1 minute. Palantir, Wayfair was also a 5-minute halt as well. I said and again, when I say UVXY, it's just the Ultra VIX, which we can trade here at Real Trading. Like, obviously, it's not the actual VIX. But that opened after a down halt and screaming to the upside. So unless this starts to taper off a little bit and come back in, I don't think you want to catch any falling knives. But that was a monster relief rally on that news, and all of a sudden, boom, you're flashing down. So I'm looking at Palantir, which is opening up in 1 minute. Volume weighted average price down at 72. So this should open, if it can catch a bid off prior close, which is 74, or 72, which is Friday low, that'll be the place that I look on over to. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you're headline to headline, right? But that was one heck of a move. To see limit down on stocks which had just gone red to green that way, I can safely say, I don't even recall seeing, you didn't even see that stuff in COVID. Like, you never had a relief rally day like this, and then we're halting limit down. That's why you have to keep your ear to the ground for these headlines.
Right. Almost 14,000 of you watching. Thank you so much for doing that, and make sure join us every single day, as I can't promise to have
This tab can't be
my best day ever every day, but we'll try to keep doing it. Palantir's tap right now is $77. So you're gonna, well, there it goes. It opened up at 76.
75.
Yeah, and then there's the move down. So now you're starting to get rinsed a little bit here on Palantir. Just touched down into 74. So we can try to go long a little bit down there if, at 74 and change, just in case. So we'll try it there. If it breaks through 73, 75 or so, then we want to get out. So I don't want to be in this one for too long. We will take a little bit more here on the bottom because, Neil, when you're reading the board good, you are reading the board well. And there it goes, nicely taken to the upside right there on the halt. We're just trying to get some out here. Again, trying to, let's go. Let's go, Neil. There it goes again to the upside one more time. As there we go back in and out one more time for Palantir as we go high, high, high. And we get out more there on PLTR. So there it goes, man. A nice move back to the downside, back to the upside. This is all because Sharif is back, man. The market is now ready to go. Dude, I've had the biggest day I've ever had. Yeah, it's been huge. Thanks, Sharif. Appreciate that. But there it goes, man. 74. So we're going to get out if we break through 73, 75. We just scalped a little bit out. Bye-bye right there as the market right now coming back in off of that halt. We tried it. That was a flat trade. So now, again, 10:30.
This market is...
Go ahead, yeah.
No, the market's absolutely flushing back in here. It looks like they're just going to take all of those gains and throw them out the window at this particular point. Like, it's completely insane what you just saw. I'm going to go back. Oh, look, it's just, if I liked it short before and we're basically right there again, I got to look right back into Walmart. If we're really heading back into the lows on that headline and it was just a little bit of a trap, then fine, next opportunity. 84 has got to be the level for me on Walmart. Just on a side note, even if the market goes back red again, remember, Walgreens is getting bought cash. So I still think as much as like, you don't usually see these things move around 5 or 6% in a day. So I think there's an opportunity. I'm going to probably jump into this if I see 10 again for sure, but I'm going to buy VWAP on this if there's any kind of a bounce play. But that was complete insanity. Intel's holding, which doesn't make too much sense. But I said if Intel holds VWAP, we'd take a shot at this. Well, it's trying to hold it right now at about 19.2. So this volatility is completely insane. If we can hold the higher low, maybe we take a shot at this long, but I'm not really seeing anything that's indicating to me that this sucker wants to hold these bids. Hold his VWAP, and I'm jumping into the long here on Intel. Wow. Alan Lab, shout out to you, appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. This just goes to show how sensitive this market is to a bounce. Any positive news and we'll fly, keep up the great work. And then any negative news and we just absolutely drop like a rock. It kind of cuts both ways for sure. Wow, and we just lost a bid there again.
Adara, I thought, or no?
No, we just, oh, sorry, we are. Let's go to Adara, time for the crypto update as we lose 78,000 and the bid again.
Yeah, I'm just going to show you guys IBIT for now because I'm having a little bit of trouble getting to trading view. As of this moment, we're loading my trading view. Here is IBIT. Much like the rest of the market, we drop at the open. We make a little bit of a bottom in the case of IBIT, around $43. Then we have this massive pop all the way up to $46. This pop, along with the rest of the market, was driven by comments from White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett, who said that Donald Trump was considering a 90-day pause for tariffs for every country that wasn't China. Then we had CNBC come out and report that apparently no one at the White House has heard of this potential 90-day pause, at which point the markets and crypto and IBIT falling to the downside. So that is the story of this pop and drop in the markets, as you can see here visualized on the crypto chart. And here is the rest of these names here. Bitcoin down below that 79,000 level, currently around 78 and down about 5%. Ethereum did reclaim the 1,500 level, but still down about 11%. XRP, 8%. BNB, 4.5%. Solana, 8%. Dogecoin, 8.5%. Cardano, 8%. So Bitcoin holding up relatively well compared to all of these other crypto names, which are mostly, for the most part, down about 8% on average. So lots of weakness in the crypto space and lots of volatility too, just like the market, as we're seeing the NASDAQ now go back to red. Back to you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Got long in.
Hold the VWAP.
Well, we were long Palantir, and then lost it there. We should have just been a little bit more patient instead of getting in immediately off of that there. So, Yeah. All right. So there goes Palantir. We just get stopped out a little bit there on the last little piece, but it is going higher. Oh, man, that's too bad. We just had this at 74, now at 75. All right. So the NASDAQ is starting to blast a little bit higher. I was thinking about getting into some more TQQs, but honestly, I just don't know how to properly share size myself now because I don't really want to give too much out. We just bounced off VWAP there. We had posted it on our sticky note, and I just want to thank you so much, man. Over 51,000 of you now follow. So thank you so much for all of that. Like there it is right there, 51.1. So thank you for all of that. And then today, man, we were waiting for 37 as a key level for TQs, man. We had to wait for 35 for that. We'll take a look at JP Morgan long 210. There's NVIDIA long $88. We had that long, but then we wound up losing it there as it broke early, and I was just like having nightmares of Friday where we just kept on trying to buy some of the dips and shorting and just over trading basically is what I was having nightmares of, not the decision making, because there's 88. So we nailed the long there, but again, like NVIDIA went to 102. That is insane. There's a lot of movement here that can be made. Like how far back did Meta go? Wow, 540? Hello, like Meta this morning, 480.
Apple 195.
540. Yeah, thanks for bringing that one up too, Neil. We're already having the best day in Trader TV Live history, and we missed that Apple bottom right there, 176. So there it goes, man, right there, 176 to 194, and we just got stopped out of that. So yeah, man, there's going to be trades missed everywhere. And that we had two on board there that unfortunately we weren't able to hold. So yeah, there it goes, man. Monster day, for me over here. I know you've been in and out of a couple names, so I think it's just been a good trading day overall. And let's just keep on trying. The futures are now starting to go back upside.
They're trying to hold.
Yeah, so 42 and change right there on the futures. That was just wild that at one point we had $10 in the money on the TQs and $10 in the money on Palantir. I'd never seen anything like that for myself. So it was an absolutely wild morning, and we did it. So we literally did it. Like we did exactly what we thought we would want to do. You have dreams of these kind of days. And today, finally, I feel like John Cena just granted a wish there because we were able to get that, and it was a nice move to the high side, and we're able to be a part of that on big shares. So great day there. Let's now let it settle down. I think that's the best we could do.
Yeah, I just took a shot at VWAP on Intel, but it's not holding. Like every time it looks like we're strong, they're really selling it back in. So, it's weird to say, but like even on like Intel, like a scalp at the range instead of like 5 cents, which you usually think on Intel is like first take profit, it's like 15 to 20 because that's where volatility is right now. So I took a shot at it. It doesn't want to hold. It doesn't seem like it wants to hold. But I hesitate to, like nothing's at any short levels that I like. Whoops, let me just cancel. Just realized I was still bidding Amazon. This is not one of those situations where it comes to VWAP, you want to be sitting on the bid with all this tariff news is fake. We're going to go back over to Adara. Walmart is on the precipice here, though. It's back at that 84 level, which, just a reminder, that's the 200-period moving average. So that was our secondary level for Walmart. I might jump into this one short side as we go over to Adara again, another update.
Keep an eye here on the market once again. Here's the NASDAQ pushing a little bit lower. White House apparently saying that the 90-day pause in tariffs is fake news. A direct quote from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. So CNBC had earlier reported that they had, to their knowledge, no one at the White House had actually ever heard of this potential 90-day pause on tariffs. Now we have the White House confirming that apparently the comment from Hassett is fake news. It's unclear if they're saying that Hassett never said this or if the comment itself is inaccurate. But regardless, fake news apparently is this report that we will have a 90-day pause in tariffs for countries that are not China. Again, this comment initially was reportedly made by Kevin Hassett, who is the White House economic advisor. Back to you.
I'm going to try to go long on Apple here if we can get back into near 180, like 180.50 as Apple's fallen right back into VWAP. We could go choose Palantir as well, but I'm feeling decent about trying some Apple here. I don't know. It just dipped in. I would like to do that. I also think that buying some TQs down here at VWAP maybe as well. I was just really impressed with that Apple move. And a little bit of a pullback rate into some levels where we had calmed down a little bit before. So if we can get something long, we'll try it. And then, so I'm waiting for 69s. And then, like, it just is bumping 60, 70 cents right now, almost every
like
30 seconds. Yeah. So just be careful here trying to go long on anything or short on anything. Have your stops. Like, that's really some of the best advice. Like, I don't know what else really to do other than just kind of warn that there is. I'm going to get a little bit of Apple here right now, but this is like a tenth of a unit. I want to make sure that everybody does scan in these uncertain times. You do want to make sure, Ramin, that you do have e-signal on board, because you want to be able to chart every single market these days. I mean, you can really see what's been happening here with the NASDAQ, with the ES, with VGK, with what's been happening in China. We saw China go limit down yesterday. So you never know where your bread is going to be buttered, and e-signal will help you find the way, whether or not it be through scanners, hot lists, at your API programming, integration with 50+ brokers. Make sure you do catch e-signal, and why not do it right now? Oh, there it is. Yes, Apple, nice. You want to make sure that, okay, let's go Apple. Let's go Apple. We just got some out at 181 there for 60 cents. We still could drop through, man. Our stop is right here, so that's why we take profit where profit lies sometimes on these names. So market fading back in right now. Hide your wife, hide your kids, but make sure hide your longs, because right now the market's coming back in. Oh, there it is. Apple cracks lower on that tariff news, right? So potentially no tariff ban. So in and out there of Apple for flat. Right now we're just battling. We don't want to get too carried away here.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know what? I'm not chasing Walmart at $1.50 from the resistance point. I'm just not going to do it. Like this. A lot of this doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around why there's not a bid catching in on some of these names, even if you throw out that this was the whole like fake news story and all that good stuff. Like, you still technically had a monster sort of like relief off of a pretty decent support. The Qs took 400 out there. Like, some of these names looked like they were at pretty big, gigantic, like Amazon was already at a gigantic buy spot. So the fact there aren't any second salvos coming in here right now is a little bit disheartening. That said, Amazon's the only thing. I was looking at Intel at VWAP because that was a good long earlier, but that just, it came in, it bounced once and immediately failed. Amazon's almost back at that 170 that I liked, so I'm going to let it come into this 170 and see if we can't catch a bid on Amazon, which is oddly enough still green. The NASDAQ just went red by 1.5%, and this is at least holding up green. Let's go back over to Adara. Or
something. We're $1 in the money.
Adara?
We're going to do a sector watch from the news desk today in case we get any more talks about tariffs or anything that could move this market. So in case you missed it, massive push to the downside off the open. We went green on the NASDAQ and a lot of these names, and now we are back to red, as you can see here on this sector board. Tech services red across the board here, though certainly not as much as some of these names might have been to the downside last week. Meta, Google down less than 1%. Microsoft down only about 2% here. Apple, though, still bleeding. This was the biggest market cap loser in the Mag 7 last week on tariff news. We know that this one is greatly impacted by supply chain disruptions because it does have physical products that are produced overseas. So keep an eye here in AAPL. Nvidia, though, down about 2% and a bit. AMD down about 5%. On the finance side of things, still a lot of weakness. Berkshire Hathaway, initially one of the leaders this year, down about 3%. Retail trade has Amazon still doing quite well. They actually went green in the day, still about flat, but Home Depot, Lowe's, all to the downside. Health technology red, consumer non-durables red, commercial services, utilities, consumer durables, health services, producer manufacturing, energy, minerals, etc. to the downside after a brief pop on talks that Donald Trump will be pausing tariffs for 90 days. Those talks, though, have now been deemed fake news by the White House. Back to you.
Fake news, real news. We just hit some ice Apple, man. As we went over to Adara, we were $1 back in the money on Apple, and right now we're still in this. We were trying to buy these dips. We got stopped out there right before that massive run. So there it is. Let's go, Neil. Let's go, Apple, as we continue to climb higher and higher and higher right now. We'll see if we can get some money back in for Apple. We only have Apple in the TQs right now. We're having, you know, like I said, we're having a good day, so I can't keep saying that, but I'm just really a bit overwhelmed with that. So, all right, so we'll go back. Oh, I'm hearing Adara, but when Ramin's ready, we can go back over because obviously, there it is right now. There goes Apple. It is another dollar in the money right now for Apple, and we just take another piece out up near the upside, 181 in change right there as we try to buy the dip. Go Apple. Can you get back to 183? And then that would be an oh boy moment right now for us. So yeah, man, let's continue to go higher. What's, you let me know, Ramin, if we can. Okay, go. What's up?
We have some more updates on this story about Kevin Hassett, who is the White House economic advisor. He reportedly said that Donald Trump was considering a 90-day pause for tariffs for countries that were not China. Then, of course, this was called fake news by the White House. Now, the Trump rapid response team on X is actually saying that Kevin Hassett never said this. So we were wondering if it was that he had never said it or if that what he had said was fake news. It seems like, according to the White House team, Hassett never made this comment. Just an update here on the Kevin Hassett fake news story about these tariffs. If I see anything more, I'll let you guys know. This is continuously evolving. Back to you.
Well, evolving, devolving, whatever you want to call it. We just bounced. It's not going to be off VWAP, but VWAP is just a line on the chart. We bounced off 171, grabbed it here. With that headline, it's hard to be super, super bullish. So I'm looking at 75s on Amazon as kind of like the kill spot. We get into here, going to take the money, just take it and run, because I'm not feeling overly bullish when I hear that. So we'll take these like shots and from level to level. I still think you could resolve breaking VWAP and trend down. That was a huge relief rally we just had. Can't seem to get the half, cancel, and come up. And now we get 70. Yeah, now we just got underneath that 74. So we're going to take these bounce plays wherever we can find them. Quick little mean reverts, bounce off VWAP, go into a bit of a resistance spot, and just look for the next opportunity after that. So we'll see what happens. But this market, it's complete chaos and mania. I also wanted to point out, we were talking about the VIX. So the VIX getting very close to that top again, up at 54. So remember, every time we've gotten to that 54 level, save early in the morning, we've had a bit of a turnaround on the VIX. A lot of times, whether the tail wags the dog or the other way around, doesn't really matter. You got to look at volatility these days. So I'm out of Amazon. We got a quick little $3 bounce. If it continues, great, but I'm not putting all bets on any longs at this point after these headlines.
All right. Nice trade on Amazon. All right. We're now $3 in the money on this reloaded Apple position right now. So good job there, Neil. Thank you, Skull. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I know real can see real, so all of you guys out there trading, congratulations to all of you, man. I hope some of you are having a very similar day. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating with a good lunch. Let's find out what's from. Oh, man. Oh, boy, Neil. Wow. I didn't even, well, we'll get to how your day is going after, because this has been an absolutely incredible day. And Neil, it's about to get a lot better for both of us because.
I already know.
Yeah. Today's menu.
Yep.
Let's go. Adara, run for the damn hills. It is jerk chicken right now with rice and peas. Wow, let's go Apple, man. Kicking it off, man. Rice and peas, steamed broccoli, and island coleslaw. But, oh, man, we may be going to the islands at some point right now. We props it up as there it goes, man. We are now $3. We just talked about that with Apple on that reload. We talked about wanting to get it. Thank you so much, Aram here. Thank you so much to everybody. Skull Candy, Skull in the chat. Norman Special, Healing Pain, Hamster One, Jesse. Everybody come to Barbados. I'm coming. Jamal, everybody there, Easy Street. I'm just going to go. I'm hopping on that Bezos yacht, man. We're just going to be chilling out together. You can all come. What's up, Drake, Bronk? What's up, Pilot Josh, Trader Forever, Mitch the Permable, Anu Vu here, View. Thank you so much. Oscarito. Where's my guy in the chat right now? Where's Ozan at? There it is right there. What's up, Tyler? What's up, Davida? X-Rams, Baines, everybody, Ebony, Ellis, Adam, everybody there. Thank you so much, Adam there. Yeah, there's one goat right there. Ovechkin, the goal-scoring goat, yesterday. That was a lot of fun watching that. What's up, Mongolian girl? She's here as well. The Piper's in the building. You're always here, says Ozan. There we go. Hey, I'm in Boston this summer, so what's up, Charlie? We'll come see everybody in Boston this summer. Unfortunately, the Red Sox are not in town when I'm there. That would be great. It's awesome when your wife goes like, hey, let's go to Fenway. I was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, let's go to everybody. Thank you, Unlimited Potential. Yeah, Savannah Bananas. Yeah, I know, whatever. I'll pass on that for now. Thank you so much on that, man. Killing it. Thank you, D. Rankin, as well. Everybody, Wes K. I mean, thank you, everybody, for the acknowledgement, man. I mean, we do the show as entertainment as well. But, obviously for me and for many of us, right, this is much more than entertainment. This is what we do. And I do this every single day, trading. Some days not as good as others. But, when they go like this, it is definitely, worth celebrating and worth every minute. All the losses. And remember what I said last time, Neil, you can't get better until you make some mistakes. And I know we've all talked about that.
Failure your way to success.
Exactly. And that's why we're trading the futures, and that's why we're actually using shares. We've traded the futures before. We're comfortable with it now. We slipped up on it on Friday, and we come back with the best day in Trader TV Live history. I mean, that's, for me, that's a Barry Horowitz right there. So we'll clap ourselves on the shoulder and just be really happy to be able to be just green today. I had no idea. When we came in, you guys saw, like, we were writing down the sticky note, man. We were grinding it out. We weren't certain of what we wanted to do, but we found the levels, we traded it, and we hit it. And it's just like very humbling to see that when things work out, they can really work. Doesn't mean that we, aren't gonna, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring, but for right now, I'm probably gonna size down. It's just been that kind of a day right here. We will never stop trading because this is what we do. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta take profits and, anything, like, it's such a news-based market here.
Well, just speaking of Tobes in the chat.
What's up, Tobes?
Tobes, tariff will be paused for 3 months. No. That was the initial story that shot things to the upside, but then now that's being denied. So that's absolutely not happening. They're completely denying. That was the rumor. It looks like that is not true, as we've heard a couple of times there from Adara. Look, I just scalped in and scalped out, and we'll wait. We're still trending down since that, whatever you want to call it, the headline high, the parabolic high, whatever you want to call that, you still have a lower high being put in and lower low since that move. So I think caution is the better part of valor for sure. The only other name, I'm actually thinking maybe I should be shorting something, but I come back to Walmart, and Walmart's not really setting up. Like, if I'm going to take something short, I wanted it to be something that was part of the plan, but this isn't setting up. It's actually relatively strong on Walmart. So no need to overtrade, as I saw someone in the chat saying, like, their worst thing you can do is overtrade. Like, you just had to find something that you liked and grip it and rip it. And if you don't like anything right now, it is 10:50. It's also a time that we like to go to Adara.
Here's the DXY, which is actually nicely up on the day, trying to take out, or I guess refill this gap that we made between Wednesday and Thursday. Of course, Wednesday night was Liberation Day when Donald Trump first announced the tariffs that shocked the market. We had the US dollar pushed to the downside on Thursday, but now trying to rally for the second day in a row, currently at day's highs here on that 103.3 level. So let's see if we're able to hold. We didn't really have any major economic data today. We have Fed's Kugler apparently making comments at 10:30 a.m. I have not seen any of these comments populate on X, so maybe nothing market moving there. But we have U.S. consumer credit coming through at 3 p.m., something to keep an eye on. Then later this week, we get a slew of potentially market moving pieces of economic data. CPI coming on Thursday, and PPI and University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment on Friday. Here is the FedWatch tool. Initially, we did have a little bit of a change in the tides, as it were, here, where we had a lot of participants expecting a cut in May. Now we have 67.4% of participants expecting that the rates will be held steady. 32.6% of participants, though, still expecting that there will be a 25 basis point cut. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah Adair. And a big shout out to ProfitX. It is Monday, so you do have NCAA tonight, everybody. And if you're looking for unbeatable odds in that and other biggest games, switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform. where you set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX, sports playing reimagined. Think of it like trading in the sports game. Use the code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Whatever you happen to think of tonight's game, I feel like obviously it's not the two teams that everybody was predicting. I thought Auburn was going to go in there, so slap a fail on myself, but Duke completely fell apart. No question about that. You said they were 90% to win the game. I'm actually surprised it wasn't a little bit higher. But they absolutely blew that one. No questions asked. Just a couple of things in here. We've played Amazon off of VWAP, but like the wealth of things that bounced clean off of VWAP, it's not just it wasn't just Amazon or the Qs. NVIDIA clean off of the volume weighted average price. So if we come back in, it's like pick your poison. Like, what do you want to try to play on the way back in? I'm going to go back to the well and sort of go back to the thing that worked for me because it's the same setup regardless of what you looked at, whether it's NVIDIA, whether it's Amazon, even as I said, like something which we wouldn't normally think would move all that much. Like Walgreens bounced clean off of volume weighted average price. I'm just go back to the well, everybody. Find what's working for you if it's got it. CompuCare team, where will you enter NVIDIA? I'm going Amazon VWAP. You can go NVIDIA VWAP. They're exactly the same move at the exact same time last time through. So make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, pass it on through everybody, and pay it forward. It's still a wild market, everybody. Volatility is not going anywhere, but do keep an eye on that VIX. Remember, 54, 55 on that VIX is resistance. We hit a top there. You don't want us blowing through that top. It'll kind of constrain up moves if we blow through that top. But because it's at resistance, you're continuing to go higher as we see. So next time we dip into a little volume weighted average price, we're going to take some more longs. It's only about 5 minutes to go until we send you guys over to the midday show. I don't even know who won the ones.
Huskies.
The Huskies? Yeah, Connecticut's, they're ridiculous.
All right, guys. Let's just go awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you for all the viewers here today that have been with us from day one. And thank you to all the new viewers as well. We're $4 in the money on Apple right now. And we just put this on 10 minutes ago. Sharif and Joe, buckle the hell up, my guys. This has been a wild day trading for us here. So just again, with 5 minutes left, thank you to everybody for joining. We did a little bit of a roll call there. Make sure you follow us all on our socials, man. I was posting all weekend long. I don't even know if I posted. My daughter got 3 goals, and I couldn't be happier. She's really doing quite awesome at hockey. There we saw Ovechkin. We took here's my daughter and my dog. We took them. Well, you can't see, it's too far away. Took them for some beautiful walks there yesterday. We celebrated yesterday Ovi's big goal there as well. Go join. Who's this guy? Go join us, on all of our socials. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. And we'll be back here. Neil and I will be back at 2 p.m. And so still 700 handles. We have the bottom of the market today. And the thing about it is pretty lucky to have it. But at the same time, it was the patience that hit. We had the patience, and then we actually put our balls on the table and took shares. So we actually wanted to make today something special. And it was that. I mean, you don't have these days. This is a very, very unique. The NASDAQ moved 10% today from top to bottom. Like, that's huge, right? And so when you have a move like that, whether or not it was 9.5 or 10%, that was a monster move. So to be able to now say that we participated in this kind of a day. We did it live for everybody, and we got that. So, I mean, we're very, very pleased with the way trading's been going today. Hold on, that's not even the TQs. There it is. That's what it's looking like right now, up to 42 and change. So, so far so good there. But yeah, I don't really know too much else to talk about. I've been talking, obviously, a lot about these trades all morning. We did have Palantir. This really set it, like normally this would have been, this is one of my top net days on Palantir today, but being dwarfed by the TQs, we actually had that 70 break right there, bang, up to $80 right there up to the upside, and it just went absolutely monstrous. So Neil, I know I've been saying that I've been having a huge day over here. How's your day been going? And any words for these guys before we leave?
Well, it's obviously a special day. It's easy to be green on a day like today if you caught any kind of a long, because it should dwarf anything, even if you short it, which I did short Walmart. I did short Walmart. There's no question about it. Like, of course I'm going to short it when we liked it at our levels. We took our shots at it. You could argue there was a couple of times that I could have taken more out to the downside, but I think in this market you want to try to let it run. So I don't mind that we lost on this name, but I did say, like, find something that you like. And could I have had more? I thought it was free money. Free money is the wrong word. I thought it was high probability money on Walgreens, because if the market turned, great. And if the market didn't turn, it was at a price that didn't make any sense. So we were able to take a shot at that one. And it's going to continue to hold off VWAP. Amazon, of course, has been good. Intel probably got out of that one a little bit too early. But at the end of the day, if you want to stay consistent, everybody, just remember, be specific. Like if you like VWAP, like if you try to buy the dip on that last move, it looked like we were bouncing, but some of these candles, like this is $3 of $3 consolidation for 15 to 20 minutes in Amazon. That's huge volatility, and it is. And then the second it tests VWAP, it just bounces right clean away from it. So that shows you how particular you have to be about your entry points in there. You could be, if you were long in here, yeah, sure, it ended up holding at VWAP, but you really would have been, put to the test down there, holding at $3, $4 against you. So just be careful. Try to manage your risk. I don't want to say keep it tight to the vest, but try to manage your risk so that you're not losing more than when the bounces that you're able to catch here. So obviously, we've had a bit of a shift in sentiment. Before we leave, we have only 1 minute to go. I just want to go back to what I think everyone should pay at least a little bit of attention to. Remember the VIX when it was trying to press the highs? It's now broken back underneath overnight lows. So you're back under overnight lows on the VIX and trending to the downside. So trending down on VIX is pretty much, if you got a long that you like, everything here is saying we're still looking pretty good. And whether we get down into the 30s again, who knows? I can tell you I can't remember seeing UVXY ever halted, but volatility halted, and that was kind of a sign of what the craziness that we were seeing on the VIX. So yeah, you're right back at those lows. If we don't trend back up here, like if this isn't bouncing off the bottom, I think you're holding on to the longs that you like.
All right, 30 seconds left. All right, so it sounds like we had some good days. Thank you to everybody for watching. We're going to be coming back at 2 o'clock. For now, though, you're going to have Joe. You're going to have Sharif, who's back in the building, so we're happy to have him back. And again, just thank you for the continued support here on the show, man. And we'll leave you with some big trades, right? So with only 5 seconds left, we're going to have some good jerk chicken right there, and I hope that the rest of you do as well. So for Neil, I'm Sean. Thanks, Adara. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls. Thanks, Ramin. All right, decent job today for everybody.
I double checked. I got my stink bitten arm today. I forgot to mention. I just checked my phone.
Nice, good job there. I mean, I'm sure that's obviously well in the money
that.
now. So, all right, man. Yeah, congratulations. Good trading in the stink account. And let's go back over right now to the guys on the midday show. Ciao, everybody.
Boom! What is up, beautiful people? Welcome